Good times on everybody, and welcome back to ZeldaSpeedRuns for another Season 8 race. This is a winner's bracket semifinals between Xavi and Icola. And I've got Nath and Out of This World Burrito to talk. I got Dominic to help me track, so I'm going to push buttons and let them talk. All you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tumble Talk. Welcome, everybody. It's the big game day, as in it's the race between Xavi and Ico today. Looking really forward to this race. What about you, Nath?
Yeah, two very good runners here. It's going to be a very exciting match. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Xavi seeded 17th and has beat Cola, Alexis, and Seisei, all extremely good runners to make it this far on a tear. But Icola also putting up a good show with Mr. Mario, Tanjo, and Fur completing up to this point. Xavi had a really close race with Cola, just going one leg further to find Boomerang in Adult Spirit, where Cola didn't go back and check for that. While Ico had a great race against Mr. Mario. Admittedly, Mr. Mario forgot Forest Temple existed, which would have narrowed the gap a little bit since it had the required long shot in there. But I'm looking for a really tight race between these two.
I love how both runners have a single letter as their file name.
It's probably
X
makes it
versus
easy
I.
to tell apart. But yeah, both their best times are almost the same. Both have a lot of races. Ico, of course, a machine with all those races under his belt, but both have been putting up really strong performances in Season 8.
Just 1,311 races from Icola. Just a few.
Yeah, just a casual 1,300. No, the X and I are not Roman numerals. We gambling? Is there a prediction? I don't know. So yeah, welcome everybody. So today we have an adult start with Goron Ruby as our freebie and Sun Song. So not the best starting lineup. We're hoping that we don't have to. Well, the runners are hoping that they don't have to do all dungeon, but I know people in chat and us as viewers are. And then Sun Song could be a nice start if we have any required amount of Skulltulas that could help with routing a little bit. Otherwise, it'll just maybe be some time saves getting around areas like Goron City back to entrance and such.
Yeah, it's some good setups too for things like Dampe getting back into market as child if you don't have preludes, stuff like that. So it's a
Good
good
call.
utility song at least.
Yeah, absolutely. You also don't get locked outside during the day of market if you oopsies on time of day, which I do constantly. The other thing we want to mention that this is the semifinals of Season 8. We still have a lot of games left ahead of us, especially in lower bracket. So still a lot to look forward to. These runners, though, whoever wins this race will be moving on to winners finals, and they'll be playing against either Hyper or Marco, two extremely strong runners that's been popping off here. Whoever loses, though, we might see them again in grand finals. They'll be dropping down to losers quarterfinals or the lower quarterfinals, and they'll have to win 3 more matches if we want to see them again. So we'll see them again as in see them up here in upper winners. We still also stream the lower brackets, and there's been some pretty hot matches down there.
Yeah, with it going down to top 32, every match has been pretty fire.
Oh yeah, we've been saying it all season, but the competition has been extremely strong this year. Top 32 was extremely hard to get. Even Challenge Cup, which was hard, which is going on right now in the Silver Gauntlets. But we are off. Already seeing a route divergence. Xavi's like, let me check where these spicy medallions are. And Ico's just like, let me go get my fools immediately.
Spirit, DC, Shadow, Forest, Water, and Fire, I believe. And it looks like we're getting a child start actually from Xavi.
Ooh, Ice has Prelude.
Yeah, I didn't catch the foolishes, but yeah. Prelude on Ice is pretty tempting to go to Ice if you get a good early read on it.
Mm-hmm.
Be told it is Fire Fountain and Valley Foolish.
That sounds about right.
So, because this Fire Temple is foolish, you know that the boss key is going to be on Hammer Check.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as is tradition.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see already Xavi going child while Ico just straight up goes to CAC, given the medallion knowledge Xavi already has. Because based on the medallions we know that Queen Goma is going to be Sapphire and Baronade's going to be Kokiri Emerald. So it seems like this might just be a seed where you could avoid going child, since we might not need Boomerang and Kokiri. We'll see where things end up. But similarly, our medallions also point to Bongo Bongo having Fire Medallion, so we won't find Nocturne on Burning Cack, which is nice. So hopefully that we'll find that a little bit earlier. And then Xavi didn't forget to get rupees for Long Long, what they're heading out towards. Looks like we got the Ocarina of Time hint there on the right for Ico. Didn't quite see it on Storms. Yeah. Okay. Or Storms
Very
on
vague
Ocarina
one
of
if you need
Time.
that or not.
Yeah, that's also one where it's just like, well, hope I don't need that one.
Yeah,
That
I
also
mentioned
puts
it.
well late.
Oh yeah, I mentioned it in like when we were chatting earlier. The one thing I do like about Rando for people that play it or have seen it, like it tells you the item is like way the hero or not. So it makes those kind of hints like so much more like less vague on those.
Oh, absolutely. The hints in this game can be pretty mean sometimes, especially if you're still figuring out path priority. These runners have a pretty good idea of how path priority and logic works, but I know it's something that I'm scaling up on still. But while we were talking about that, we did find Lens and Windmill, and then Iron Boots off Super Cuckoos. So that's interesting. We also already
That's a
have
pair of
Saria.
items.
Yeah, like that's certainly a pair of items. We do have to do water, so that's nice to have, I guess. It looks like 30, 40, 50's dead.
Yeah, no major skull climbs today.
No.
Yeah, I actually got recently burned over with path priority stuff in my last match.
Oh,
So
that's
seeing
easy to
Minuet
do.
here and Ranch. Yeah, basically I had a strength like Path of Goma, and then I found Rudo's, though it was Goma was like a bridge condition med, and of course I find Rudo's, which gives you storms and stuff like that, and then your hammer's locked by storms, and the one hit I didn't have was that Spirit, which had like the Rudo's, was Path Evolve, which meant like nothing behind that was ever having my K sword. It's because I never found that path hint. Uh, Instead of rushing checks that were live, I was actively rushing checks that were dead the entire race.
Yeah, it can get really tricky, especially when it comes to that strength path logic, because sometimes you're like, is this it? Where is it? If that is it. Or if you find a second item in the same place and you're like, all right, well, now we're playing guesswork. And as a reminder, because you talked about medallion requirements for the Rainbow Bridge, for anyone who might not have been around this season or checking out for the first time, to activate the Rainbow Bridge to get into Ganon's Castle, you do need to acquire Spirit Medallion, Shadow Medallion, and Light Arrows. Then that's how it is in the base game. And as that happens, we find Nocturne on Minuet, so we might get a chain here. Well, not really. Nocturne doesn't give you anything, but you got a tiny chain. You got a one-step chain.
Got key in the spinning blade room, so cannot skip that room today.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get some more hints here.
Claim check is Din's Fire.
Din's? Ooh, that's a good one. All right. That's definitely required.
And nothing in Spirit Trial today.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't look like Dampe gave anything, so Dampe's race isn't Holden. And we're gonna see Lost Woods over here with Xavi on the left, and it looks like Ico's going back out into Kakiri. Probably gonna go get the Sun Song check in the grave over here.
Yeah, this Child Star.
Taking notes, because we are already finding a lot of good stuff. So yeah, so even though I said earlier that, early child play might be kind of sneaky with these stone lineups, but you know what? I take it back. Early child play is definitely paying off.
Oh yeah, the adult start. I usually would stay adult for Icola did, but didn't really give us anything.
No. Ico was also doing shooting gallery, which I think Xavi ran by earlier. I didn't see what that hint was. Was that a dupe?
I didn't catch it. I was watching the shooting gallery too. Yeah, Xavi skipped the shooting gallery because they didn't have money because they went straight child.
Hmm.
Oh, sounds like it was a spirit trial repeat.
Oh, okay. I knew it was a dual hint, just didn't see what. Ooh, getting paid $20
Yeah,
for
getting a refund.
good accuracy. Yeah. All right, Ocarina memory game. Let's go. Let's get a good tune out of it. As that's going on, we also want to talk about, so going back to the bridge medallion requirements in this seed, that means we need to find the hammer and the long shot, since Spear Medallion's behind Volvagia and Morpha is holding our Shadow Medallion. So should be either showing up real late at Ganon's castle, or maybe really early if we just stumble into our hook shots.
It means we're probably not getting any hints toward Forest Temple. Definitely, probably not toward Donga's Cavern either.
No. So claim check could be a spicy one if we don't find claim check. We can get down to frogs or prescription, and then have to do a little bit of the chain.
Yeah, the awkward kind of ones is when you get like frog or eye drops somewhere, like especially as child here, where you want to reset to get back to town, but like you don't want to because then you're doing the whole like trade quest chain.
Mm-hmm.
Some blue fire arrows.
Yeah, blue fire arrows in Lost Woods at one of the bottom grottos, and then we also got a hint for, I think, Autumn Wasteland's dead. Give me the BFA logic. That would be spicy.
I was very happy with one of the league asyncs for league when we first introduced blue fire arrows into like our settings. I think it was like async number 6 or 7. This is like 2 or 3 seasons ago. Had a blue fire arrow path for your first hook shot.
Oh, okay.
It was on King Zora. Yeah, I was very happy that it actually rolled it on one of the asyncs.
Mm-hmm. So Xavi went into child checking Test of Courage, Big Rolling Goron, or Big Roly Poly, term to called all the things, and then leaving immediately. So yeah, to chat's point, I'm interested that he didn't peek the maze at least. He even has bombs, so he could even go get the right side if he really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean he's heading up there as adult anyway, so I think he's just gonna save it for the movement. It is a bit out of the way, and it's harder to peek as child.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna be going back there as adult at some point. So, and
Yeah,
he
plus
did
you're
get a
doing
lot of
DC,
actionable
so
items.
yeah, like if you go into DC and like find like hammer, then like you're just or both like 2 strengths, anything like that, then you're just saving time by not checking it now.
Yeah. Wow. Even Oh,
Frogs 1 is a bow.
Frogs one is bow. That's a good hint. And then is this a good item? That's Zora's tunic. Well, we do have to go into water later, and maybe Central Pillar is important.
Yeah, Frog 1 unfortunately is not easy to get because we need AD for that.
Yeah.
It is possible to be our first bow.
It's
Only behind Deku and Jabu.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's something to keep in the back of our heads. Hope that's not the runners hope that's not the case, but we want to see it.
It's OoT Storms Jax, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tumult talks like, I like it. I'm down for this one. It is the curveball we're talking about because, to your point earlier, we were discussing this seed prior to the restream starting. Tumult Talk and I were talking about this could either be a very kind medallion setup or a very mean one if you have to do a lot of child stuff. If that is the first bow, man, that would suck. That'd be the curveball that we were talking about that could happen. And yeah, to Kirby's
bow's always a
point,
weird one. It's like there's always 3 bows, but like sometimes you get one that's actually like way of the hero, and it's like, well, do you need AD for that one, or is there another bow somewhere?
yeah. Oh yeah. Also, good point. We're 11 minutes in and we still haven't found a path hint. We've had some pretty good hints so far, but none of them path hints.
You're right. Yeah, no paths yet.
Yeah, I just saw chat check for it, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm wondering if Xavi's gonna go peak castle here. Probably not, since they don't have Lullaby, and it seems like most of these runners don't want to go up until Castle Courtyard if they don't have at least Lullaby to do something. And to that point, yep, Xavi's just going straight back to adult.
Yeah. Interesting. Xavi's gonna have both Minuet and Nocturne now to speed up like the initial adult part.
Yeah. Nocturne will save him some back walking through Hyrule to your point. And then
Minuet's a free song.
yeah.
Might even give us Requiem or Bolero for another free song.
Yeah, these are nice warp songs to have early just for movement. Don't hate it. And then I think the Child Warp wasn't it pretty close to Market?
I think it was Lon Lon, wasn't it?
Yeah, I saw Xavi do it, but then I emptied it from my mind immediately. Ran out of RAM. Oh, there's Bolero.
Speaking of chains, it's Bolero, yep.
There we go. And Xavi's gonna go check immediately. Good. Yeah, no, early child definitely playing off here. So this is my point that I was mentioning earlier. Is I think that we were going to see some route divergence for these two runners based on some of the philosophies I've been seeing regarding Season 8, and you're seeing it now. And Xavi's getting ZL off Bolero. That's really good.
It's gonna lead to another song when we go to Graveyard here.
Oh yeah. Wow, that early child routing is paying off in spades for saving Xavi time here and there. Some backtracking he's going to save here in Graveyard for sure.
Skull Mask Junk.
Nice to know. We already have a lot potentially in Child, so let's forget about that one at least.
Yeah, I typically don't like doing like the early childlike route like that, but in this case here, it is paying off in spades.
Yeah, I wonder if Xavi had an idea behind that, or if Xavi was just like, you know what, screw it, we ball.
Yeah. My experience with Xavi's races that he sometimes just does random things. So it could have been planned, it could have been like feeling. It's hard to say. It could be a question for after.
He woke up today and was like, today I feel like doing Child immediately. Checking all the Child stuff. Let's see what this song is. Sorry, Requiem believers, you're out of it.
It's opponents.
Instead, we get Horse. You get discount Requiem. you get the option to cross Gerudo Fortress.
So our last songs we don't know about is what Sorry is, OoT, and Requiem, and we'll get one after beating DC. Yeah, it's a Force Med.
And we already know there's nothing on this Sun Song chest from earlier. I think it's a heart. And now we're going to see Ico getting their bombs. Yeah, we do, yeah. We do have a logical crossing, huh? Already with the Epona Song and Lens. I guess we don't have magic.
I mean, magic, and we need a way to cross the wasteland too.
That's true. We need in these settings.
Hovers are a long shot.
Hovers a long shot. Thank you. That's not going to stop our runners from crossing, anyways. But
yeah, both these runners definitely not a do item list, but at this point.
This is something to keep in mind for logic purposes. That's kind of like the advanced strategies you learn once you get really good at the game, being like, all right, I know I'm doing this out of logic. I'm going to have to remember that I did this out of logic because I need to get back on logic so the game tells me where to go.
Yeah. I've been very sad with my child spawns this season. I always hope for the chance to reverse or to forward Wasteland as child with like the random child spawn. And both races I've had that be a chance. You get like Requiem super early and it's pointless. I always find it cool to be able to skip Requiem by like just crossing the Wasteland as child like that.
No, Tumble Talk, we have not gotten a path hint yet. We've seen a lot of stones checked, but not a path hint.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of crazy how few paths we've had.
I know. I'm starting to think if they're going to be back of Lake or Hyrule Castle 2 or 3, God forbid. Neither of these runners are going to go that far for Hyrule Castle. I think I've seen Xavi check back of Lake, but most of them no go to the second or third Sheikah Stone in Hyrule Castle Courtyard. Those get orphaned.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if we'll see some like more uncommon stones this seed just because of all the lack of hints.
Oh yeah. I fully expect to see sometimes people orphan the second Sheikah Stone in Fountain. And even though Fountain's barren, you know, if you end up there and you still haven't found a path hint, I think that's worth going all the way for.
Yeah, if you got like that one, you got the one in Big Goron and Goron City. That's a skipped all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned earlier, Hyrule Castle 2. I don't think we'll be seeing 3 as it's behind storms, but I mean,
Nah. That would be
if we're checking that,
insane.
something real bad has happened.
Yeah, so we're off the tracks if we're doing that in this seed. So anyone coming in late, we have learned that Song of Storms is on the Ocarina of Time check, which to complete AD, we would need to do Queen Goma and Baronades, the Deku Tree, and Jabu Jabu. So that's low item requirement. So that might be a thing that happens. Similarly, though, we know that we can't get into Bottom of the Well unless we get Storms, and that's a lot of checks. Right now, the seeds, medallions, and stones and songs are like "Don't Go Child," but as we saw earlier, Going Child was the play for Xavi. He found a lot of good stuff early on, and it's actually saving him a bit of time now, subtracting some of the backtracking that Icola is likely going to have to do here. The path hints have been kind of barren. Good one. Good one. Yeah, the bridge medallions are definitely going to eat up a lot of logic paths, given that we have Spirit on Volvagia and then Shadow on Morpha. At least we found our boots. That's one thing not to worry about.
Navi look like they're gonna do Mana Roof and then skip. Did they already do the check?
I don't remember them doing it as child.
Like they climbed up the like the roof and then immediately jumped back down after thinking about it. It was interesting.
Oh yeah, they may have done it as child. It's probably going straight into DC as speculated, as this is a required dungeon. It's also fast, especially since we already have Bomb Bag, and we know that it's required. It is going to also give us a Force Medallion, which will give us another song off the Prelude check. And there's that bow.
Frogs 1 repeat.
Yep. And it's the best medallion. Is it because it's green?
Probably because it just gives you a song.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what my favorite medallion is. I think, like, the water one always looked tasty to me as a kid. I was like, I'd eat that.
I think the Spirit Medallion is my favorite of the 6.
Got a good logo on it. It gives you 1 and 1/3 thought song. 1/3. It does give you 1 and 1/3 songs. It gives you like the first note of whatever's on Burning Cag. So yeah, here we go. Ica going back, doing some Lost Woods.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see Ico do some like the Goron City loop here, and then probably head into DC as well.
Mm-hmm. Big chest on Zavi's side. There's the first slingshot in DC. So if Xavi ends up back in Child Lost Woods again at any point, can definitely check hookshot target or slingshot target in the woods. And then I don't think he did the Saria song check because I think he got that later.
I don't remember where Saria's was. It was in Composer's Grave, I think. So that was well past when they were in because they didn't do that till they were adults. Yeah, definitely didn't do the Saria's checks.
Saria's was on Storms, so yeah, Xavi didn't get that until adult.
Oh yeah, then same thing. Yeah, they were adult when they got it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, looks like there's a big chest. Good peek. That's always one thing that I'm constantly being reminded of use these peaks. Speaking of which, Aika is about to go check the Gora maze here on the right side. Zavi did not opt to check this earlier as child. Just gonna bomb their way back. Nice setup there. I always like when I see the fast bombs. just like I'm getting through here. Nice backflip. We do have a big chest. Path hint too, maybe? Come on, give us something. Ooh, there's Kukiris. Okay.
Still not a path hint.
So just the blade hint again. So Kokiri sword this early, we might need to do Deku.
And it's a little annoying that... Yeah, actually, it's interesting that Xavi didn't check that when they were a child, because I think if they found a K sword, they probably would have done it immediately after. Like, they probably would have ran back to Forest to go do it.
Potentially. But
it's not a medallion, but Deku is very dense.
It is very dense, but I also know that chasing requirements like DC is also very tempting in these situations, rather than going, Deku might not be required. But they would be child and they're already there. But we also have minuets, so that's not too bad. So it's always that game of weighing your options, right? Like, do I do this now? Do I do this later? Do I need to do it at all? Zabi going for bombs. They are at 7, so we're gonna get some bombs from this pot. That pot's always loaded with booms.
Yeah, it's one of the pots in the game that have a guaranteed drop.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a difference from Majora's Mask, right? Isn't it a table they roll on in Majora's Mask for pots?
Some pots have a guaranteed. It just depends.
Corbitic in chat's right. Deku tree is a big tree, so it should be pretty dense.
Yeah.
I
don't know exactly like which ones in Majora's Mask are which, but I do know that some are fixed because I know the ones in the Ocean Spider house, like with the chest puzzle, those always have arrows in them.
Yeah, you're right. I remember I've watched a few people talk about that sometimes, but then it always exits my mind. Oh, there's prescription and DMC
today.
So we got a full Goron quest today in the settings. Everyone get hype. Full trade quest for Dins.
Because of the blue fire arrows, it could even be possible that Ruta's letter is behind Dins.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we necessarily need Ruto's letter, but you never know.
Yeah, we do have blue fire arrows. It just comes into question where that magic is, for logic purposes. Definitely no point in going to Shadow this seed. Check.
You do need to do Shadow at some point. It is your fire
medallion. And honestly, that prescription wasn't very far locked. It was only locked behind bombs, which we found free. Oh, there's GTG's path to Morpha. There we go.
That's a interesting one. We have a opponent to get there, but we don't have much to do anything there.
It's got to be a hook shot or long shot, since we already have boots and we've already found tunic. So it can't be the troll tunic. Yeah, I guess it could be a bow.
Or I guess in rural absurd logic, it could be I think it can be Ruto's letter for some crazy things, because there is a world where Din's locked all your bows, and it's path for Water Temple. That's a very rare one, but it is possible.
That scares me. So we're seeing Peek in here, DMT from Ico, Tiny Chest, and nothing out of the Redead Grotto in CAC.
I love this skull setup.
Yeah, it's like one of those tricks that looks easy, but then there's a setup for you remember when you try and wing it that there's a setup for a reason.
Yeah, it's actually very finicky. If you are, you have to actually be patient. If you input your rolls too quick, then it's weird thing with V-targeting. You kind of need to wait for you to be in that position and fully turn before you make more actions, or you're just a pixel too far and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. So now we see Ico going into Dodongo's cavern, which good. They know they're not going to get rewarded for it outside of a big Goron sword, which can save some time, especially early on in the seed. But nothing required here other than the medallion at the end, which again is 1 1/3 songs, so that's nice at least. Oh yeah, and sling. Sorry, I forgot that this one slingshot check we might have to do is important.
Did Xavi get the adult song from DC? I don't think they did yet, right?
No.
I don't remember us checking it yet.
Zabi's going for the maze right now. Yeah, Sacred SMT to GC. That would make sense, chat.
Yeah, they played Minuet instead of climbing up. I guess they wanted to get these grottos here in woods on the way, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because we do know that so far climbing up doesn't really seem to get anything based on Ico's experience. So
Outside of the one, our first path hint.
oh, sure. That's more
Our
like
first
falling
path hint
down.
nearly a half hour in.
It's a good one though. I always love when GTG shows up. I'm like, is it behind strength 2?
It's not a bad path hint, but GTG is also that kind of place where it's like, when you're missing items, the first place you go to is GTG because it's like it's just so dense.
Mm-hmm. The Kokiri sword is here in Goron City. It's in the maze on the right side behind bombs. So it was a bomb-locked Kokiri sword, which again, we found bombs at the vanilla Kokiri sword chest. So logically, it shows up very early, so that can point towards Deku. Even though it's a stone dungeon, might have something important in it. So that goes back to Nas' point earlier, being like, there's not a lot of requirements for Jabu and Deku. We might still see them anyways, because they just might have something. That's true. Since we don't have any path hints, we can get those 2 from Deku.
Yeah, Deku's also just that very quick dungeon where you just get like, what is it, like 8 checks and like a 4-5 minute clear, something like that. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot early on.
What is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's close.
That's what I was also thinking, chat, for Chorus Point. If Song of Time is on Force Medallion, it could be a hook shot in the toilet, which we have Iron Boots. So if we get Song of Time, we could do it.
You need at least 1 hook shot, though.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking, because to get the silver rupees in the prior room, you logically need 1 hook shot.
Yeah. Well, not just logically, you absolutely need it, unless you're doing some techniques that are not allowed in the standard rule set.
Yeah, sorry. So I always forget we can't bomb hover.
1 rupee that you can't get to without a hook shot.
As a side note, that room also sucks if you don't have hover boots, or at least Song of Time to spawn the block. So there's that too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't do that without Song of Time, because you need Song of Time for the next room anyway.
Yeah, true.
Unless you're playing with Silver Rupee Shuffle, then you might be doing them without it.
Mm-hmm. Also, it was called earlier in chat that hovers are in DC. I don't see any, so your hovers got bait switched for a slingshot. All right, so we're gonna see Xavi find their prescription here. I don't think anyone's gonna be rushing that. You'd ideally want to, have a bit more.
Well, not only can we not rush it, we physically can't do it currently.
Yeah, good point. Oh, all right, because King Zora's
we have no way to free King Zora right now. We need either a bow and magic, or we need Ruto's, or I guess any bottle if you do it out of logic.
Mm-hmm. Which this season, that well, I mean, I guess since it was introduced, this King Zora skip's been pretty nice to have. That usually ends up being used pretty frequently. Or you get the rare I am in Ganon's castle, let's go to Water Trial just to get blue fire.
Yeah. I've seen a lot less whatchamacallit, well, it's like King Zora skips and like Rushing Ice in general this season.
Yeah, no, Rushing Ice hasn't been as hot this season. It might just be because of the settings, it might just be because of mentality. But there's only been like, out of the runs I commented in brackets, maybe 1 or 2 seeds that were going to ice was worth it. And then sometimes it looked worth it at like face value, but then you're like, oh, it wasn't important. Like ice locking strength 3, and then having a hint that, oh, something on path is in Ganon's castle, and you go in there and it's not behind the strength 3 check. So you're like, okay, well, didn't need strength 3 anyways.
And that's like Xavi probably going back child here, so I think they might be going to Deku Tree.
Mm-hmm. To close point in chat, there is the Master Quest tournament ongoing, and that is getting. We are trying to stream some of those to Zelda Speedruns here. There was one yesterday, I believe, and it looks to be more in the future. And yep, someone called it Minuet with Song of Time. Cool. Toilet, ominous on the side. Still need a hook shot.
Yeah, with Song of Time now, GGG feels a bit better because you get a bit more you can do. You'd like to have a bow before you go, but it could be a path bow there too, for all we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to chat's point, also looks like crossing is going to be required. As we got a hint what's on ice earlier, which was Prelude.
Ice
So
is
we already know that
Prelude.
is. Yeah.
We know where Serenade is. Yeah, it's a Requiem's Vanilla the seed.
Mm-hmm. That
Which
is so yeah.
if you're going to GTG anyway, I mean, you might as well just go cross for it.
Yeah, I think that's the time that you're going to see is when these runners go out to GTG, then they're just going to cross because you're already there, and you don't want to backtrack to
Yeah, I mean,
go
you
to
have to do it
Root
eventually
Fortress.
anyway, so you might as well do it when you
Yeah.
have the chance.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they cannot cross logically yet, or
You
you're
can
not
cross. You have
incentivized
Epona.
anyways.
All you need is Epona to actually like physically cross. You just can't do it logically yet.
Yeah. And so we're going to see Ico getting their Eponas from Composer's Grave here. But to that point though, I don't really expect them to go GTG anytime soon until they start running out of stuff to do or they get more items to
I mean,
action
I
things
think
in
after
there.
you do Deku here, if you don't get anything pushing you to a different dungeon, I think you go cross.
Yeah, that'd be fair. Because there's not really much else you could do at this point.
It's just your best location, and with bombs and Song of Time, you can check everything except for the bow checks and GTG at this point.
Mhm.
Oh, and the strength room too. So it's about half the checks you can do. So it's obviously not ideal, but like you're running out of places, and it's a path. It's probably a hook shot,
Mhm.
and you're not gonna get a hook shot path to Phantom Ganon. So you don't know if it's your first hook shot or your second. Just don't have that info.
Yeah. And for everyone who's wondering why we not get a hookshot path to Fangan, it's because Fangan is a water medallion, so based on path priority, it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
We're more concerned about that Rainbow Bridge requirement. That's not step number 1.
Yeah, basically, for people who don't know how, like, you're not haven't been watching us or not aware for it, anything that is way of the hero toward your spirit and shadow medallions cannot be hinted way of the hero for any of your other medallions.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll never see a DC path. Oh, technically we could, but that's incredibly unlikely. Probably nothing for forest. The other ones you can, because you can get like mirror for spirit, you can get like hovers for shadow. It just depends.
Yeah.
But if you see like hover boots hinted path to shadow, then you know nothing behind hovers is on path for water or fire.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of path, nope.
Chickens.
Chickens.
Yeah, I think we saw that from Xavi already. They did this check already. That looks like a setup for Dampe.
Yep, exactly. I was about to say, setting some song for Dampe check once they're done here. So they're going to warp after checking this ferry. And Zabi's checking Darunia right now.
Hopefully that's still enough time. Should be fine, I think.
Hey, stick upgrade. It's always nice to have extra sticks on hand.
We're getting the full child Goron City clear, which I do like.
Yeah, Zabi's routing on this was actually really nice in hindsight. They did what they could here with the rolling Goron. They're like, I'll come back later. And then before they came here, they got Sarias. And now they can do this, and then they're good.
Yeah, it's so easy to orphan these checks here, and they have burned many runners.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Myself included sometimes.
It's just not a nice place to route in if you have to double back. Here's big money. Zabi doesn't want it, though. Let's see what damage he got. He didn't have anything in his grave.
What is that? Oh,
a stick. Yeah, even Ico was like, I mean, maybe it's an upgrade. Got 1 stick. It is a great spot for a stick. I guess maybe a dog buried it there earlier. But Zabi making that Deku play. So, like to your point though, if nothing is found here in Deku that gives us any access to anywhere else, I could see him going back and going over to GTG because your only other options are some pretty slow hierophila checks, the slow road down to Hylia.
You could dip a bit of fire, but that's about it. I don't like. I haven't seen it more often. I think the fire dip is pretty nice. Because you already have Bolero, and you need to do it anyways, but
The
it's mostly
problem,
for the
the problem with the
info.
fire dip is that it's foolish. So while we do have to do
Oh,
it,
right, it's foolish. Yeah, never mind. Ignore me.
we might find hammer somewhere else, and then you just rush for boss key and leave.
Yeah. If it wasn't foolish, I'd like the fire dip.
Yeah, we got Shadow Trial 2 dead, and there's the collecting Pokemon
Well,
again.
where are our path?
There's got to be back of like Lake Hylia and Hyrule Castlefield, or like Valley, maybe.
Oh, and Valley's dead, so I've never seen that hit in stone, probably.
Yeah. All right, well, we're seeing Deku Tree on Xavi's site, which is new. Haven't seen this yet, this seed, while Ico does some child Nightcack stuff. I think he just got up to 10 skulls, so he's going to be checking the 10 here. Let's see if that's anything good.
Ooh,
Wow,
rank.
that's Boomerang. Okay, that is good. Jabu's not required, and we can't get to Jabu yet.
Yeah. Not required yet, but that's...
Yeah.
we are now a Rudo's letter from AD
Yeah.
being clearable.
AD chanters are frothing. They're ready.
This watches be Rudo's letter here, like in this chest here on Xavi's side.
Oh no, you better not invoke this. Okay, well, it's wind.
It's glass, just different kind of glass.
Mm-hmm. Hookshot on Baronade? That'd be annoying. As chat's saying.
Yeah, now that we have FW, I'd like to see either bow or magic at some point before we go to GTG. Like, I wouldn't like put it off for that, but that'd be just nice to have before you go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, bow's probably what they're really hoping for here. Which, here's a time to hope. There's a big chest right here in this room. Let's see what it is. And also, I'm like, Xavi gonna grab that skull? Okay, there,
Hey,
yeah,
there's a
called
bow.
it bow. And Xavi doesn't care. Xavi's not checking 10 anytime soon. That Skulltula's right there. Xavi's like, nah, I'm out of it. Screw it. Ting's point in chat, apparently a real quote is Xavi says, there's never anything on skulls. Hope he doesn't pay for that one later. Okay, so, sorry, believers. Our first bow is not logically on Ocarina of Time check. But yeah, absolutely, go to GTG after this one.
Yeah, now with bow, you basically can do everything except for the strength room check.
Yep.
Not in logic for all of it, but at this point we don't really care.
No, we're just trying to get stuff here. And when you know there's a path to Morpha and you already have boots and tunic, you're like, oh man, if I can at least get a hook shot.
Yeah, and if your hook shot is hook lock in GTG at least too, then you do know that your other one is not behind that hook shot. So you do get some good info doing it out of logic.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be one of our. If it's like hook locked, I'll be surprised. Because at this point, like, where is our hook shot? if that is the like a hook lock one.
Well, we still have some Sphere Zero checks we could check. We got bomb bag release. There's a lot of bomb lock checks we could still check, but pathwise, yeah, I'd agree that it's probably in there. And
like
it's probably,
child fishing.
Yeah, it's probably sooner rather than later if it is in there. I say, and then it's locked in the middle of the maze, and all the keys are behind silver block.
Yeah, it's possible to have the center not be reachable, but not likely.
Yeah. So Xavi is now up one dungeon on Ico. Granted, it's not a required dungeon by stone count. However,
not required
did find
asterisk.
a bow in there. Not required asterisk. Did find a bow in there, which is big. Ico believing that the 20 is important, finding that the 10 is, and is going out of their way for Kokiri skulls right now. Letter in GTG. It could be a path chain to Morpha.
Icola being more aggressive with skulls than I'm used to seeing him be. I wonder if he knows that Xavi is not going to do skulls and is just kind of pushing it in case it's anything good.
That probability is high. These top runners are pretty familiar with one another for the most part. and they've done practice races against each other, watch each other's races, so they tend to know their habits. Because in previous races that I've watched Ico run, Ico's not been this aggressive with skulls against other racers, but against Xavi, this is the most aggressive I've seen them. And right now they're getting potentially rewarded for it with Boomerang. Potentially.
Yeah, hopefully it's a reward and not a bait.
Mm-hmm. The 20 bottleneck could be real. Could be with the rain being on 10. So some runners like to check 10 and 20 at the same time. But getting Rang early would definitely help getting 20 faster. So checking it, if you can route it in, checking the 10 while you're there is nice in this case. But yeah, Zobby going back to adult, liking to see them run out. Oh, nope, we're going to CAC first.
Yeah, this might be like a shooting
Shooting
gallery.
Yeah.
It's kind of out of the way for one check.
Kind
of surprised.
trying to think.
I guess if you're never doing skulls, this is your last check in CAC, so.
Yeah, I suppose. And I guess Bo wasn't that out of the way logically, so there might be that. Chat saying river play. I don't know about that yet. River's nice, considering we don't have
it is 3 hints, and we don't have any paths.
It's 3 hints, and some of those are just free, and whatever ones aren't free are behind a bomb, and we got bombs, so it could be nice.
If we're doing river, probably would have played Minuet to go through forest with the iron boots, though.
Yeah.
I guess this makes sense if you're doing this check too, so I guess they're about the same.
Sure. Similarly, like, if you're gonna go up river, it'd be nice to, turn that prescription in first and then go unfreeze.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, a bow locked bow. Cool.
So that one in Deku is probably like 100% required.
Yeah.
At the very least, that K-Sword is Way of the Hero.
Yeah, it depends how all dungeons shakes out. But considering that you need the K-Sword to do all dungeons and you find the bow in Deku, then yeah, that's our first bow.
At the very least, that K-Sword locks all the bows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's whack. Yeah, you're right, huh?
Yeah, so we could actually find a K-Sword path to something. Well, I guess it wouldn't be something. It'd be either Morva or Volve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ico got their bow right there in Deku. And to chat's point, isolating Deku would have hurt really bad, but given the lack of items they have so far, it's kind of hard to do when Kokiri Sword just shows up on your doorstep in Goron City.
Yeah. Your options are basically go do Deku or go to GTG with only bombs and Song of Time.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where the seed just kind of nudges you in the right direction by happen chance.
Yeah. Putting off Deku would mean you're being stubborn to a point where you just don't want to do it. Which, I mean, I've seen some runners too. Man,
Ico already has 14 skulls, and they are not 45 minutes in. They are definitely prioritizing those. What's down there? It's worth getting, whatever it was.
Oh, it was a Deku shield. I think he thought it was something else.
Oh, okay.
This is a mispeak.
That's okay. That's not a lot of time lost.
No. Better to mispeak and be wrong than to skip it and be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to chat's point earlier, I was thinking about if something is in bottom of the well that's important, this is definitely an AD seed. However, it's not out of the question considering that Boomerang's way more available than I thought it was. The question is, where is Rudo's letter? If Rudo's letter is available early, then something might be in well, but if we find that really late, odds are there's nothing in well.
So given our hint layout, and this is kind of like a weird, like, you have to know how the randomizer places hint stones. At least one of every hint stone has to be reachable, so like storms can't lock both your items. Like, I guess we'll put it away. Like, so if you have 2 storms grottos that give a path hint, that item can't lock storms. You basically need to be able to reach at least one of the hint stones.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the fact that we don't have any, I wonder if there's a lot of hints behind storms, which means that Rudo's is somewhere available.
Yeah, so he's got Sacred Forest Meadow to Volvagia.
So we got Song of Time and Bolero.
And Bolero B Path.
Oh, Bolero gave us ZL.
And
ZL gave us Eponas. So Bolero must lock all of our ways across the bridge.
The hell? Yeah, that's weird.
That's actually really good info. It means that we're gonna find. So it basically means that whatever we find in GTG here, or at least at the very least, Epona locks all of our hook shots and hover boots. So it means hovers is not somewhere early, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be Song of Time, but I think the chain I mentioned with it being like Bolero ZL Eponas makes a bit more sense. But it still could be Song of Time.
Yeah.
It could be like
That's
hammering on right side of GTG here.
Yeah, that's like we're asking for path hints, but that one's kind of a difficult one to pull apart. We won't really see how this resolved until we see more things.
It's gonna hit. I do like it. It has a lot of potential to have a lot of info on it.
Yeah. We'll
It's
see how
also
it
a
shakes out.
Vavaji. I don't know if Vavaji's are Shadow Med. Never mind. Thought to say it's gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a non-bridge, but it is a bridge.
Zabi jumping the bridge, not checking anything here because guess what? It's foolish, so we're not even worried about it.
Yeah.
And into Grove Fortress we go.
There's a guaranteed path hint there on that stone because we're not checking it.
Guaranteed, absolutely. Ico going back to Delta, finishing Deku, likely going to do this very similar play here as Zabi and going over to Grove Fortress because again, what do you do at this point?
Yeah. I mean, the only other play that makes sense is like River.
Yeah. Could do River here, but since they're rolling out of market, probably not. Big Poe. No one's done Big Poe yet.
No bottle to do it.
All right. Could have if we had a bottle.
Yeah. GGG's path to Morpha is probably a hook shot. You just go do it.
Mm-hmm. If it's not a hook shot, this scene might take a while. We're gonna see archery here with Zabi because we're already here, so might as well do it. Yep,
If
looks
it's
like
not
it's
a hook
archery.
shot, like what else could it be? I guess it'd be like hover boots, but like.
Yeah, I'm just like, ugh.
But then that means like your first hook shot's probably in Shadow Temple, like in the first 2 checks.
All right, let's see Zabi's excellent archery here. Going for the jars. Oh, missed the first one. I jinxed it. My bad. Oh, gotta wait for the turnaround on that one as Ico is crossing. Ico doing the same thing on Epona, checking the remainder of the grottos, likely because, hey, where are my path hints?
Did Zabi check Southern Field? I don't remember them doing it. I feel like they did actually. I just don't recall
Zabi
it.
did. That's where they got the Sacred Force Metal hit.
That's right.
And that's what. And it's just that hint was so perplexing to us. We were like, wait a second, hold on. If Valero's path to evolve, the hook can't be that easy, can it? I mean,
No, Hook can be here because Bolero gave us
yeah.
ZL, which gave us Eponas, so Hook can
Yeah.
just be here.
It's a lot of steps, but they're not difficult. It's like a simple like 3-and-up Lego set. There might be like more than 10 steps, but they're straightforward. Just don't eat the pieces.
Basically, if Bolero, or if there's at least one hook shot here, then that is at least one way to fulfill that path. Because then at least the opponent locks long shot.
Ooh, already getting a key.
Yeah. And because GGG's path to Morpha, there's a very, very high chance that there's a hook shot here.
So Zabi going right, as people like to reiterate, going left, if you're going to do all of Gerudo Training Grounds, going left is technically faster, but since we have Song of Time and we can't do all of it, going right is actually pretty quick here. And we do get a Poe in a bottle, so we could do Big Poe. That's not a Big Poe that we got, so we're going to have to drink that spirit. Empty that out for a bit.
I tend to
We
like
did.
going right here first because you don't have hookshot yet, and if you find hookshot early here, then it makes the left side a lot faster.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you do left side if you can already do all of GTG, basically. But if you got Song of Time, no hook shot, yeah, going right's worth it, especially since you can get over here, get a couple double defense. That can't be our path, but cool.
Ironically, that bottle could actually be a path item
That'd be messed up if that's path to Morpha.
because it could be like our first like hookshot on like big pose.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've
That
only
would be
had a
so
path
messed up.
like not like a path regular bottle once, exactly once, and it was a
Doesn't seem
bottle
to.
on child fishing for big pose.
It doesn't seem to happen frequently with these settings.
It's very hard. There's 4 bottles, 3 if for some reason you can't turn in Ruto's letter. So it's not easy for it to happen, but it can happen.
Mm-hmm. And for anyone who's like, well, this could be Zora Tunic, we did already find Zora Tunic in Hyrule Field. So, and since we already have Iron Boots as well, that limits our options a lot. You've had a path bottle in field for big pose for scale? Dang, Ink. That sucks. Sorry for your loss. Looks
There's
like the
nothing in the
middle here is
maze.
coming up dry. So whatever's in here, it's in one of the side rooms. So it looks
Yeah,
like
if it's not this check, it's either the bottle or it's hookshot locked.
yeah. Yeah, it could be toilet, but that'd be hookshot locked. To chat's question. Yeah, if Xavi doesn't find anything on their first visit here, that's spicy.
Interesting.
That could be either
Wait, are
that
we
it's a
not?
different.
We're not doing.
Oh, we're not doing hookshotless boulder room. Okay, and we're skipping the bullflows. Okay, we're leaving those 2 checks for later on Xavi's side. It looks like that. I usually feel like Xavi's the one out of these 2 runners who's like, I'm gonna clean this up before I leave. But I
Did they
guess Xavi.
save before they did this?
No,
Hmm.
they might have
This is the
saved.
rushing big pose.
They saved after they checked maze to get back to the beginning. I think.
Because one thing I had in my mind that I wasn't sure if I'd do myself was save here, and then go do big pose to see if that bottle is path. But problem is I'd be checking the rest of GTG anyways.
Oh yeah,
So
because it
I'm a
could still
bit
be like 2 things in
surprised.
there. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Ico did not get 2,000 on that. Or did he? Oh wow, he did. Dang, I'm missing all the sharpshooting. Watching Xavi go. Yeah, definitely checking Big Pub. But yeah, to your point, he did save in the middle of the maze. So rushing Big Po to see if
You'd
it's
be
useful.
redoing
But
the
yeah,
Stalfos fight, I guess.
yeah. Southwest fight not too bad since we have BGS.
Yeah, it's
At
just
2,000, she gives you.
my concern with this play is that like if you say you find hookshot here, you're probably going right back to GTG anyway. So like, I feel like you're not saving time compared to like just doing hookshotless.
Sure. I mean, I guess you could go to forest. There's not likely to be a ton in forest, but it is required, and you still
We
might
have no
find
strength
something.
yet though, which makes I mean, yeah,
Might find
it's
strength.
weird.
I know there's no strength for the push block room, but you could actually do a lot without strength, especially since we have Song of Time already.
Yeah. Because now if this is, I guess if it's not, you just reset. This is not hookshot.
Uh huh. Well, Ica's about to get it, so let's see what they think. Yeah, this isn't hookshot. Uh oh. We not resetting? We doing something else?
Interesting.
I'm hoping Ica goes further just to satisfy my curiosity here.
This is a river play now. It looks like.
I think this is a river play. I think
ice?
gonna go river to ice, do ice, get blue fire.
This is
melt
a
Zor-
wild
King Zora.
play.
Yeah, maybe Zavi's tunneling on Dins here a little bit too much. I don't understand not crossing either business, because you're gonna have to. Based on the songs, we know you have to cross. So this seems like a time loss for Xavi. So whatever time Xavi gained over Icola from that early child play, I think Xavi's burning it up here.
I wonder if this is like a I don't This is the kind of play I'd see from a runner who thinks they're like outclassed and they need to like get an advantage somehow. But like, I don't feel like Xavi's outclassed like to that degree.
No, Xavi and Icola are both strong runners, but maybe Xavi's a little nervous as they have had a hot streak beating a lot of tough runners up to this point, as we covered earlier. And when we were talking stats on the stats screen before the race started, Xavi has defeated, in the most recent match, Xavi defeated Cola, and then Xavi's now also defeated Alexis and Seisei. So maybe nerves are catching up, or again, to your point, maybe Xavi's like, I gotta do some wild shit if I'm gonna beat Ico. Jabu's
to
Evil's Bane. Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Xavi's been orphaning skulls, and Boomerang's on 10 skull. There are checks before the stinger, or the tendril. There's one check. So there's a potential that we don't need ring, but odds are high.
Bottle.
Oh, hey, there's our big Poe bottle. Uh-oh.
Shadow to Rova.
Shadow to Rova.
But now you're not doing ice. Interesting.
Yeah, no, dude, Xavi's off the wall right now. So, someone get him under control. He only went river for hints. Yo, I don't know. I've watched some races where I saw Xavi where I'm like, oh, Xavi's clearly behind here. I don't know what he's doing. But then he won anyway in these brackets. I think it was specifically against against Alexis. I was like, dude, Xavi's clearly behind. I don't know what's going on. And then Xavi won, and I'm like, okay, maybe Xavi's just way too big brain for me, and I don't get it.
Yeah, now we're going child. I'm not sure what we're doing as child.
Like
we have like Dom. I guess maybe setting Dompe up, which I think is junk. You have like Lake.
Lake? We're gonna walk to Lake? The new half dip meta. So we see Ico actually going further in GTG and not orphaning those checks. I like this play. This is what makes sense to my brain, not leaving GTG behind. So let's see what's on the Wolfos here. Maybe domain? That backwalk angle looks like, I was gonna say it looks like CAC, but no, it's changed angle.
River.
Yeah, this is a child river. Yeah, child. It has to be child domain. I don't know. Fountain's barren. It just has to be a child domain, which feels like stretching at this point, considering that there was stuff left to do in GTG. And then there's this crossing. I know Wasteland's hinted dead, but you could at least like get Requiem.
I will say nothing has shown up for Icola here.
Yeah, nothing has. So maybe Xavi was right. You know, wait a second. Okay, so it might be the silver push block.
Well, we haven't seen this room yet. That's right. I forgot about this room.
Or toilet. So toilet believers. Oh,
that's
there's a big
locked.
chest. Okay. Well, I'm waiting for wallet 2. I always forget this room exists. Like, I do it every time I'm in GTG, but I forget it's here. Maybe it's because it's so short. Strength. Okay, that's probably it, not bottle, right? Wait, strength path to Morpha.
But that strength is behind hammer.
Wait a second.
Behind hammer and a hook shot. That's so deep.
Hold on, what?
I don't feel like that's the path item.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, I mean, maybe it is, but like, because the only other place in there now is strength 2, which like is behind that strength. Like, yeah, again, there's a world where that's strength 3.
Yeah, it could be on toilet, but then we still need a hook shot for toilet to do the rupees. Needs.
Wasn't toilet hinted or no?
No, we haven't gotten that. But yeah, also to chat's point, happy whenever everybody. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We're here live on the biggest game day of the year as we do the semifinals between Xavi and Icola. Thank you very much for sharing your streams with us. This is a very interesting race. Commentating with me today is Nath. Thank you for being with me, Nath. I'm out of this world burrito. Thanks to our trackers, Dominic and Tumble and also double thanks to Tumble for restreaming. Couldn't do it without any of you. I was trying to think before stream about a joke and Ocarina of Time having a bowl, but the only thing that's a bowl in this game are like the potion refills in shops. And I had a joke about people mistaking the Super Bowl as Goron pot, but I don't think it would have landed, so I'm just giving that one away.
To the question in chat there for T-Pullman, go mode for this is all six medallions and light arrows.
Thank you. And then the Rainbow Bridge requirements, as we stated earlier, is what's normally required in Ocarina of Time, which is the Shadow and Spirit medallions and light arrows. We have a hint towards where what will take us to light arrows, which is inside Jabu Jabu's belly. And then our Spirit and Shadow medallions are on Fire Temple and Water Temple, respectively. So we need that long shot, and we need that hammer. So that's why we saw Strength 1 there in GTG. That's hammer lock. So then we're like, wait, where's the hammer?
What if it's not got 20 skulls then?
Yeah, maybe it's on 20.
It has to be early. So well, actually, where's our hookshot then at this point? Because that's hookshot locked, and there's Rudo's.
Rudo's just on diving game. Uh-oh. That puts Jabu way earlier.
So we're never gonna see a Jabu dip here, probably.
No, well, are you gonna? I mean, I guess you're here. You can go in for one check in Jabu, but then Xavi has to leave. He didn't get ring off 10 skulls. And to chat's point earlier, it does look like Xavi's now collecting skulls. Could Path to Evil's Bane be something for behind songs? What do you think, Nath?
I don't think behind songs. Probably not. Because what song? What song is it? That's behind. Because nothing that's an Evil's Bane is for AD anymore, because we know where Ring is. Burning Cactus Serenades? Oh no, nothing. It wouldn't be behind songs. It would just be an item at this point.
Yeah. Oh, behind storms? I don't know. It'd just be items.
Okay. So from Evil's Bane is Jabu. It's pointing to Jabu, but it doesn't mean like completing Jabu. It means an item in Jabu. So like when you have like a path to Jabu's belly, it won't ever be like, oh, it's path because you have to beat Jabu. It's path because there's an item in Jabu.
Mm-hmm. So we are seeing Xavi do the dip here, which I think if it is the first check of Jabu here, that would dig Xavi out of a hole a little bit. Yeah. But
I wouldn't like this if you had to hike all the way to Jabu because you're already in domain. Like, so you know that something in Jabu is required.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do this at some point, regardless. So you're only really losing like running to Jabu and like maybe 30 seconds by not combining it later with Ring, and you might not even need Ring.
Yeah, it just feels really bad is we've had Wind for a while and we can't use it, and we've gone to all these out of the way locations. Wind would really save Xavi a lot of time right now, especially since Xavi dipped out of GTG early.
Yeah, but overall, I like this play a lot. Like, I think I would have done this in Xavi's shoes. I don't know if I would have gotten to where Xavi is currently with my own shoes, but if I were in Xavi's shoes currently, I do like this play.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in Xavi's shoes right now because I can't make top 32. You kidding me? I gotta have my training montage. Again, Xavi's done some big brain stuff this season, so again, this might just be some five-headed play we don't know about. Big Poe into ice for Icola, maybe? Yeah, looks like it. Mounted up on opponent, got the bow ready. Probably gonna shoot the Big Poe here. And then maybe go check out ice. Because we still can't get into force without a hook shot. So that's out of the question. And no reason dip in fire when we know it's barren, that meaning nothing important is there. Can't do anything in spirit without strength 2. I mean, I guess you could go back to child and do child spirit, but that's a lot of time switching from adult to child. But That could
need
be
that
something
ring.
Ico does. Okay, you need a ring. I think right now, again, whatever time Xavi saved early in this race by going child early, I think it's been burned up now with leaving GTG early and then having to run all the way up to Jabu for nothing. But to your point, he was already there. You got to do Jabu later. You save some time. But it's something you have to do. So
I mean,
no, total
it's simple that
loss.
you need to like go back at some point anyway. What's
I'm a
interesting
little.
is that because Rudo's letter is on diving game, when does Icola do that? Like he's
Uh,
gonna find the hint here that Jabu is Path Evil's Bane, but when you're routing this, ideally you want to wait till you have Rudo's to go to domain, but you
yeah, I
can't
think.
because Rudo's is in domain.
Yeah, I think after he gets his hidden information in River, uh, if he doesn't go to Ice, I think he'll go back to Child and he'll do exactly this, or he'll try Child Spirit.
Yeah, I guess you are running out of checks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what else could you do? I was sitting here being like, what could he do other than Child Spirit? And I guess
I think
he
Child
could
Spirit's not on
finish
logic,
Jabu. Right. It's
but
not.
you can still do it. But like
Yeah.
if you're looking for like your next like step for like to have items, like it's not in logic, so you know something is earlier. So
Mhm.
yeah. I didn't see how many skulls Xavi had there. Do they have enough to get 10 after all this?
I wasn't sure. I didn't see. But to
So
chat's
see right
point,
here.
Xavi does seem to be rushing skulls now with bugs. At 3, 4. Oh, it's going to
4.
be a bit.
So yeah. Well, there's 5 in CAC, so they'll be at 8 when they're done.
Hmm.
So honestly, they can just step into DMT and get the 2 there.
One thing that I was a little disappointed about was Xavi not checking the Gossip Stones and Fountain. Because there's 2 stones there. Could have done... I guess nothing else matters since we know it's Baron, but still missing a path hint.
At this point, like I don't know if paths even help you because you're kind of done all the garbage checks anyway.
Yeah, there are diminishing returns. I often see some of these racers getting like 3 or 4 path hints, and then they just start skipping stones because they're like, well,
Actually,
whatever.
Xavi has 4 paths already, right? They have the GTG to Morpha, they have the Evil's Bane, they have Shadow to Rova. Or maybe it's only 3. No, and the SFM to Volv. They have 4.
Oh, okay.
They're only
I
missing
never keep
1.
track who finds what. I just write down the hints.
Yeah, and so Icola is doing the play that I thought Xavi was going to do and rush and go into ice. So we'll see what that yields here.
Hmm. Maybe the hint outside ice is the classic last item in ice hint.
Yeah, because we know that Evil's Bane is a path item from in Jabu, but like if that's just light arrows are cool and all, you need them, but like it doesn't give you extra checks.
No, and again, we're still missing a hammer and a long shot from opening up our bridge with those lights. So
Yeah, this is our 10th skull here. So unfortunately, Xavi's gonna get the ring and then run all the way back to Jabu.
yeah, but at least he'll have it. So that's one load off his mind.
Yeah, he will get storms as well. You're all right. It actually has a lot of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can storms and go right back to wall probably.
Yep. Ico's going straight into Ice Cavern here. This should be illuminating. We know Prelude's the song at the end of this, which is not going to really help us too much here. I guess it's going to help some child
It's
movement.
nice for child movement because we don't have Serenade for a while. So it'll make A changes for a child a lot easier.
Yeah, I guess this is because our child spawn is just Lon Lon. It wasn't too bad backwalking, but it'll save you a bit of time, I suppose. Doing 2 stone dungeons when you start with a stone does feel bad. Fenris in chat, I agree. But sometimes this is something you gotta do.
I feel like Xavi's reaction to that was like, really?
Yeah, Zabi's just like, I'm gonna get so much flack for saying nothing's ever on skulls. And I think he's just gonna go straight from here back up to Jabu, it looks like, since he's
Yeah, I
exiting
mean,
CAC.
you know something there is required, and at this point it's locking. Like you have storms in sight, you might as well.
Mm-hmm. Now the spicy thing is if it isn't light arrows immediately, and it's another item that gets us into doing stuff. Because
It could be like hook shot or something.
yeah, hookshot or again
It could be
hammer
hammer.
somewhere. So that's what I was thinking, because I'm like, well, this could be Hammer. We know that Strength in Training Grounds was Hammer locked, and we haven't found Hammer yet. And this is actually relatively early in the logic when you think about it. 10 skulls
There's a
isn't
big
that
chest
bad.
there.
I know. I was like, ooh, there's a big chest, a nice cavern.
The weird thing about having like it not be lights in Jabu is that whatever's here in Jabu probably locks like a ton of the seed, and you're just like, well, okay, light is anywhere. Like if like imagine it's hookshot in Jabu. Oh, your lights is behind hookshot. Thanks, game.
I was gonna say, I think this is a strength upgrade in ice, and it sure is. I don't know what it is about ice, but it usually has a strength upgrade. So
Yeah,
Icola
that's
now
probably
has
our
silvers.
first logical one too.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Which makes me
It-
doubt that strength in GTG even more.
oh yeah.
But again, it's already hookshot locked, so it's like, well, and hammer locked. That's I don't know whether to trust that path or not. Like I feel like that's strength 3 inside GTG. That's just like
Yeah, it
my
potentially is.
assumption here.
For my edification, theoretically, let's say this is your first strength, and let's say Hammer's maybe strength 1 locked, like in Forest or something. Could the GTG strength we found logically be second strength for back to
be.
GTG?
It could be, or it could be like strength 2 for like something in the spirit.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's true. Strength 2 ends up becoming a path a lot for Spirit, just because it's like, well, all of adults behind this, so which we still have the Shadow to Twin Rova. So given where our strengths are, it's unlikely that whatever item that is at strength is probably mirrors, or in some messed up way it could be Hammer, because that strength in GTG's Hammer locked.
I kind of
Could be
wonder.
a
So now that I think more about Xavi's play, I wonder if Xavi is trying to really avoid anything like that's like out of logic. That's what kind of what it feels like. Like they didn't go into ice without Doritos that one time when they could have. They
Mhm.
didn't do any of like hookshotless GTG. So I think that their strategy so far has just been to like not of like go out of logic.
Yeah. Question is, can it be Hammer on path with path priority?
It could be. Well, for this one,
It's
well,
because
it's
Spirit is Volvagia. I think that's the
yeah,
question. I
it
think
can.
that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Evil's Bane has the same priority as the Shadow and Light meds or Shadow and Spirit meds. They're all part of the
Yeah.
bridge, so they're all intertwined.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because yeah, Bridges priority 1, priority 2 would be getting into the Ganon fight, so the other medallions, and then
Yeah.
priority 3, which I don't think we've seen yet, is being able to use light arrows. There's a big chest behind the first tentacle. Of course. One step further, we find hover boots.
Oh God.
Man, if that's path, that's awesome. As that could be put us in Shadow Forest potentially.
So
Yeah.
so ZL locks hover boots now too, which is oh, I'm trying to like think about how the seed is playing out. Wait, we have because we have Rudo's letter now too. We have like the first half of Shadow in logic now.
Mm-hmm. So Dins is behind claim check, and we have prescription. So we can unfreeze King Zora now with bottle. But I think that's still no. It's in logic with Rudo's letter.
Oh, remember we have
So
no magic, right? If we had magic, then we'd have the first half of Shadow in logic.
yeah, but we have no magic still. That's why it's like for Twin Rova, sometimes magic could be the path, but since it's in Shadow, it can't be path.
Yeah. KZ is dead, like as far as his check, but we still need to do the trade quest.
Mm-hmm. So if Zombie doesn't find anything else in Jabu, then those hovers are path to Evil's
Yeah.
Bane.
And I feel like because it's hovers, you kind of have to clear this, because like the worst way to lose this game would be to have like lights on Baronade, and that wasn't your path item. It just happened to be hovers in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The reason I find it interesting is that like that where I mentioned earlier, where the you had like that Bolero path to get to like Epona's and everything. This also is ZL locked, assuming that all the scales are behind ZL.
Yeah.
Because hovers is another way to cross that bridge. Which I'm gonna call it now. I'm gonna shoot my shot. Your first hook shot this seed is in Shadow Temple.
Yeah, actually, let's get guesses going. Where do you all think first hook shot is? I think I'm gonna say, looking at the items, I'm gonna guess something different just to be spicy. I think first hook shot is. Ooh, I got it. Water. You gotta go with
Water?
boots.
It can't be
Yeah.
in Water Temple. You can't get in without a hook
Oh, 'cause
shot.
you gotta open it. Fuck. My glitch brain is trolling me, dude. Sorry, you can't clip under Lake Hyrule in these settings. Damn. Yeah. Well, actually, where else could it be? Child Spirit.
It could be at this point because well, you need magic to cross, but once you have magic, you can cross logically.
Oh, well would be spicy. Shadow Temple Spikes Room.
The spike room is already hinted. There's just a key there, so it won't be there.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Sorry.
no. The wrong spike room. That means the one with the redeads.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's the spike room and then the invisible spikes room. Very different rooms.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah, you have the invisible spikes room. You have the spikes room. You have the crusher room.
I think somebody had a fixation when they were designing Shadow Temple.
It is a very creepy dungeon.
Baronade. I mean, we haven't seen Baronade yet. We're about to.
How this
The
game did
most
not freak me out
inconvenient
as like an 8 or 9-year-old when I played this game for the first time as a kid. Like I have no idea. Like bottom of the well is creepy. Like Shadow Temple is even creepier.
My fear as a child was Forest Temple. I could do everything but Forest Temple, and it was specifically because of the music.
Yeah.
Also the hands.
Yeah. As we're doing some random stuff here without checks, my random thing as this is like a old like times of past kind of like story. I got stuck in Water Temple as a kid, as I'm sure many other people probably did. I didn't get past it until my aunt that lived 4 hours away sent me a photocopy of her like player's guide that had like how to like clear Water Temple.
That's cute.
Like
I like
sent
that one.
a photocopy of it in the mail to me.
I would have my older brother do Forest Temple for me. I'd literally play the rest of the game but Forest Temple. Going back through chat, seeing what everyone was guessing. I think well is a good guess given the density and what we know. Because we have Oops 88 on this, it looks like. So could just be above lab being locked, maybe. I haven't seen too much of Lake Hylia, as it's been kind of out of the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, Serenade's far off, and like you don't really want to go. Lake is just so out of the way, and like it's just for like one check because you don't even have a hook shot to do. Well, I guess it could be like with Bean. Should be that could be a first hook shot too. It could just be like top of lake with Bean.
Yeah, Xavi did buy beans, and I'm sure Ico did on the way up.
Yeah,
Good
that was
Baronade
also
kill,
like I mentioned, a very clean Baronade. See, is it lights here or is it the hover boots? No, it's gold, just not the right gold.
Okay, so its path is hover boots.
Hover boots, path, evil's bane.
Just like, oh jeez.
Yeah, like, normally this should push you to fire, but like,
yeah. So I was about to.
It's barren.
I was about to say what Business just said. Hovers for crossing because nothing's in Wasteland, but it could have been, and there was nothing on Great Fairy in Colossus, but there could be something on Arch. I didn't watch them peak Arch.
That would put magic somewhere, probably in well at this point.
Oh yeah, Magic's always in well IMO. Magic's always in well.
It makes sense. That's where you get lens. That's where probably magic should have been in the game.
It's thematic. Yeah, so right now I'm thinking about crossing, thinking about where the hell's magic. Dang. What song was in the Death Mountain Crater again? That was Lullaby, which we got Bolero off of Minuet.
Yeah, and Lullaby gave us Lullaby so far locks opponent song, locks hover boots, unless you find a scale somewhere.
So
So far, that Bolero seems to be the only way to get to the ZL, which is why we think it's
Mhm.
Path.
There's our Song of Storms. So, all right, you think Zabi's gonna rush well right now?
I mean,
Probably.
I wouldn't see why not. It's your
Yeah.
best play.
We have not seen Frogs 2. We're probably gonna see Frogs. No, we're not. They already found a bow. Frogs 1 had bow.
I will say the odds of Xavi going into Ice now are pretty high, because you do need to unfreeze King Zora eventually anyway, and no, like the only thing that could stop you is getting magic here and well, and then you might skip Ice because you don't need to go in for blue fire anymore because you have the arrows. But if they don't find magic, I feel like we're probably gonna see Ice after this.
Yeah, it just depends what we find in well. Which right now we're going to well because we're just running out of stuff to do.
You've already cleared Jabu for AD. Like, if you cleared Jabu for AD and then don't make use of it, then it's like, why would you even clear it in the first place?
Yeah. High density, not a lot to do. You did it anyways. To note though, Zombie Cell hasn't found any of their strengths, which is probably influencing some of their decision. Not that we could do much else without it. Still can't get into Forest. Still can't. I mean, you could go back to GTG, but that would feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, given how they're playing, I feel like they're avoiding breaking logic, so I think they're just going to not touch GTG now until they can find a hook shot.
Yeah, you made that point earlier, and thinking about it, I align with you. I think they're doing logic, because when you think about it from the logical standpoint, I see why they're skipping stuff. And so far, that second strength hasn't been put to use by Icola anyways, so it might not be that big of a lead right now. Yo, that big bubble, what a bitch. Key. Yeah, we see one big chest so far and well. Gonna drain the water, though. Magic would be unfortunate, because Xavi probably skips ice if he gets magic. True. And that would put him back from finding a strength.
They
We
might
still don't
not
know
skip Ice, though, even if they do, because they know Prelude is there. And you have blue fire arrows, so Ice is super fast, and you kind of want the Prelude.
Well, we still don't have magic, though. But yeah, I guess if they find magic, then that makes ice more appealing. I don't know if Xavi's an ice believer or not, though. I have some choose.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, without magic, you always go into Ice, at least for blue fire anyway. But if you do find magic, now Ice also feels more appealing because you can just do it faster, so... I don't know. I don't know if they skip it or not if they find magic here.
I think it depends on how long they go for. Like, if he doesn't do it for another, like, 20, 30 minutes, he might just go, well, if it's an ice, screw it. I don't want to use that time. I need to make up time somewhere. And skipping ice could be, like, one of those plays where you're like, I might make time here. Scale. Scale
Hey,
as well.
speaking of scale, is all behind ZL. Yeah, I think I mentioned that Bolero path I mentioned is feeling very reasonable at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah, we have not seen Child Lake. We've had some people saying fishing. There's something on fishing, which I have actually seen at least one race in brackets where fishing was very important. I think it was like first bow
I
or
don't
first
feel like
hook
anything's
shot.
there. I feel like it's all gonna be a chain off of all these weird items, just the way the seed feels. I don't feel like I feel like very little is early now.
It's strange because nothing really feels early, but you still feel constrained on what to do at any point. So it's a difficult situation to be in when you're like, well, I have a few options, they all suck. I guess I just better commit to one of these. All right, let's see what Dead Hand has. That looks to be a big chest. All right, Dead Hand might be holding. Dead Handed Well has magic.
There's
there you
the
go.
magic.
Told you, magic's always in well. Well. All right, that's got to be our first magic, right?
Probably.
God, first magic AD locked. This is a seed.
I mean, other magic I guess could be on like fishing or something, but it feels like that's probably the first one.
Yeah. The longer we don't go to Hylia, the Lake Hylia, the longer it feels like fishing. May I have something? And that's true
Yes,
in business.
we now have logical crossing.
Yeah.
And Shadow now the first half is in Logic,
Mm-hmm.
which is my main guess for where first hookshot is.
Yeah. Oh, here's another big chest. Again, well, always coming up with bigs, which is Goron Tunic. Well, nice
Red
to have.
t-shirt.
Don't have to catch fairies for Dragon.
Luckily we have a wall, so that path that we had wasn't all just for that tunic.
Mm-hmm. So this might be a playing Minuet to go to SFM to do save and quit. Got it. I was like, to do what?
Yeah, there's Storm's Grottos, but you can just do it as adult later. You know, there's no rush to do it as child.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you're just gonna go adult and probably go to ice. At the very least, you're doing the trade quest.
Yeah, I that's what I was about to say. I was like, well, the ice is tempting now because you can start doing the trade quest and working on that at the same time. And given that hover boots are path, that Shadow Temple's looking pretty good. So getting that din sooner rather than later may be paying off. Storm's checking Forest. Zombie might have forgot about it.
I don't think they forgot about it. I think they're just trying to push the higher density. Like, you can always go to that later. And it's out of the way. Like, it's not, like, slow, but it's also not fast.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing stopping them from going to that as adult later with, like, Minuet and doing the same movement. So they're going to do the things that they know they need to do, and then do that later when they have, like, less things that seem appealing.
Yeah, when you're an hour and a half in, rushing through stuff and, like, leaving stuff for later can pay off. Because we're almost 90 minutes in. Xavi has no idea where Ico is, other than Xavi was abandoning skulls for a very long time. Found Boomerang on 10 and went, Ico might have already done this. They might be movement ahead of me. Which right now, I'd say this race is very close. I can't really tell who's in the lead anymore.
I think Xavi has a slight edge, but it's hard to say.
It's hard to say because Xavi had a lot of time in the beginning, but then burned a lot of time potentially with leaving GTG early, not crossing. And now skipping treasure chest minigame, the fans' favorite. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I will say that that Icola does have ice and the second half of GTG over Xavi, and also crossing.
And 2 strength, with both of them being out of the way. One of them being in GTG, that's hammerlocked, and the other one being in ice. So that second strength might pay off, especially since we do have Requiem from Heat, or Ico has Requiem from crossing already, so could go back to Spirit.
You get the grotto here. That's right. You have to do this movement anyway to get to ice. So yeah, you do the grotto here. That makes sense.
Big brain plays. Not wasting a single step on Xavi's side. Oh, get a hit. Don't pick it up. It's just the Haunted Wasteland repeat. Yeah, so I'd say this is a very tight race right now, still 90 minutes in. I'm sure there's some metagaming going on with the runners being like, all right. From Xavi's side, again, okay, Icola's probably already got that boomerang, might be ahead of me on this end, and then Ico might be like, well, if Xavi did Chow stuff early, it might have some time game on me. So, who to say at this point? Yeah, this is definitely ice. Especially since, again, like Nath pointed out earlier, Xavi has magic now. Blue fire arrows are going to be zooming through this. This ice is going to be a little bit faster than what Ico was able to do. Ice with 1 bottle sucks.
Yeah, you get blue fire arrows at least though, so you do have that.
Mm-hmm. But Ico didn't do it earlier.
Oh yeah, because they didn't have magic.
They didn't have magic, so they were like, well. Chat really hoping Ico checks treasure chest minigame.
Yes, definitely ice and then doing King's Aura afterward.
I think Ico is just gonna go to well after getting this.
I don't know the timing on it. I wonder if you could have given prescription and then used like the timer to warp back at the end of ice. I don't know how fast it is to clear ice with blue fire arrows, if that's not enough time.
If it is, that's gonna be tight.
But they're not going for it, obviously, because there's no timer. But that's a play that I guess you could have considered, was turning a prescription to get the frog warp timer, or the prescription time or warp, I guess, however you want to call
Yeah,
it.
that'd be some sick routing. Super niche.
Oh, they're just putting. Oh, so they're not going to do ice now. They're going to do the trade quest first. Interesting. Oh.
Oh,
Nope.
never mind. Didn't want to put wind down yet, I guess.
Might have been
That's
a change
okay.
of mind, something like that.
Yeah, I always get excited with wind. I'm like, cool, I might save some time here, and then I don't end up using it. I'm like, well, I thought about it. We're gonna see what's on 20 skulls on Icola's side right now, though. Is Ico rewarded? Nope. So it looks like the only thing important on skulls today is 10, which is boomerang.
Yep, which is hard required.
Yep. And yep, here we go into well for Ico, which we saw on Xavi, and Ico will be rewarded with magic for it. As well as
Yeah.
Zora Scale and Goron Tunic for those who are counting.
Xavi can get their strength here.
Yep, so we've seen both of these so far, but we're going to see some tight movement from Zabi's side with that blue fire arrow. And then Ico's probably got a really clean well coming up here.
Blue fire has been like my favorite. Like, I almost would call it like cosmetic, but it's like a, or even like quality of life. But it's such a nice, like even logical item to have.
Well, I just like it because in the base game of Ocarina of Time Vanilla, as we say, it's kind of a freaking useless item due to how late you get it, and that it doesn't really do much of anything. So it's nice to have at least one item be made more useful. I know Master Quest players will say for Rando, Nehru's Love is useful, and it's specifically for, I think it's the Goron City lava check if you have Scrub Sanity on.
Yeah,
or that could also be
a logical way to do that, at least in well, Nehru's Love has a lot of things for Oko, but not even with Oko. One way to get the Goron City scrubs and logic is just Nehru's and hookshot. And magic,
got
of course.
Oh, I just walk up with a hookshot, backflip, and shoot it. But yeah, it's probably got a lot to
I do that too. But yeah, logically, you could. It requires Nehru's to do that.
For everyone watching, do you want to explain what the OKO acronym is?
Oh, it's what is it? Just basically one shot kills you. One shot kill only, something like that is the acronym. One hit kills something.
Yeah.
Basically, taking any damage will kill you. One hit knockout. There you go. I actually haven't thought what the acronym stood for. Just meant you get hit, you die.
Yeah. One hit KO.
Ooh, nice movement there.
Yeah, good movement. Always nice. Hover boots in ice is always fun.
Oh yeah.
You do some really clean, fast movement with it. The ice keys won't let you have it though, obviously, as I just mentioned. Xavi getting frozen again.
Hovers is just a nice item in general. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it sucks that the item is so late, but like it breaks so many dungeons.
Which is probably why it's so late.
Yeah. Like
Be a
hovers in
battle
Water
royale.
Temple is such a lovely item.
Mm-hmm. When you be at Battle Royale Season 2, Tumble Talk, wow. I've heard some people chanting about it.
Wasn't Nehru's like not allowed for Battle Royale though? I forget if it was.
I have no idea.
Okay, it kind of defeats the purpose of Oko.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the settings. The setting's supposed to be like don't get hit. So I'm pretty sure Nehru's is not allowed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I guess we've skipped over the fact that Bomb Bag was at the end of Ice here. Obviously not our first Bomb Bag, but that's interesting to note.
Now it's time for the trade quest.
All right. You all asked for it, probably. It's trade quest time.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's no clipping allowed for domains. So you have to run all the way to Lake.
Yep. Getting our steps in today. Receiving Ice Heart piece
So,
might have been
interesting play idea here. Since you're already running to ice, you might as well, like if your timer is fine, which it should be, just put Feroz Wind in water and then go turn in trade quest stuff. You're already running out there. You might as well.
Oh, we can't get into water yet.
Oh, we don't have a hook shot, right?
See, now you're doing it. It's not just me. Who's in the lead so far? Chat asks. Great question. We were
Yes.
mentioning earlier that In the first like 45 minutes we would said Xavi. In the next 45 minutes maybe Icola. At this point they both have some items that might pay off big for them. Icola with the strength 2 already, but Xavi, also having some plays saving time here. Xavi's gonna get Din's Fire earlier, which gives you access to Shadow earlier, which we know Hover Boots is Path to Evil's Bane. So you might get those lights or something else that leads to lights. Which if it's not lights, then that's locking a lot. I think at this point it's probably lights next.
Is the match refill here? Looks like it.
Yes.
No, that's not magic. Never mind, that's wrong fairy type for that. You need storms for that fairy.
Yeah.
Just a health refill.
Just one of the health, I guess. All right, so Icola actually doing Child Spirit, which I guess was an option that they were going to do. So this is going to be new over here on the right side with Icola stream doing Child Spirit. We're going to see a few checks here. Spirit is required. We will find out if there's any keys over here. If there's no item and no keys, then don't need to do Child Side. Let's see what chest it is. It's a big one. Okay, that could be good.
Yeah, that's also a candidate for our first hook shot. That's now crossing as in logic.
Tomo Talk tried to write Bolero, but it looks like put an I in there, but then I deleted the B and the I, and now I read Oreo shenanigans.
Yeah. There are no keys on child side, so potentially skip both as big item is nothing useful.
If big item is nothing useful.
I'm going to guess it's going to be... we mentioned Nero's Love earlier. It's going to be Nero's Love.
Instead of behind Fairy in DC, it's now just in Child Spirit. No, that's actually our first hook shot. Probably. That's got to be like our first hook shot, right?
Yeah, they might not lock each other at this point, but it's pretty likely.
All right. So that's huge. I like how you're like, why not have to do Child Spirit hookshot? Oh, no, you got to do Child Spirit. Yeah, whoever guessed Spirit / specifically Child Spirit, you got gold stars. That does hurt a lot for Xavi's routing.
Yeah, Xavi's going to go for the 1 second timer turn in.
Let's do it.
So for those who don't know what Xavi's doing, so normally when you warp with an item, like with a trade quest item, it sets your timer down to 1 second because it wants you to actually run. But the heat timer takes priority over it, so the 1 second timer is not ticking down. And so when they leave this zone, we're gonna have 1 second to turn in eye drops, which it sounds like it's not enough time, but it's enough. You can. It's not like a super easy trick, but it's lenient enough to where it's not the worst.
Mm-hmm. And then Ico finding the hookshot goes immediately into adult and is going to go check forest, which forest is required. And we could do all of forest at this point for Ico. So that's going to be new information on the right as well as Xavi does the trade quest here. And Xavi got that claim check and turns it in immediately because on these settings we don't have to wait 3 days. And there's Din's Fire for Xavi. So Xavi immediately playing Nocturne and is going to put those hover boots to work and try and figure out this path.
Yeah,
it's good.
I guess another point for being 1 second. It's not actually 1 second. It's a little bit more because the timer shows up in the middle of your screen, but doesn't start ticking down until it goes to like the top left. So that 1 second is more like 2 or 3, I think.
I was also going to ask because I had this explained to me like once, but I don't remember. Are the seconds in Ocarina of Time actual seconds, or are they like almost a second? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know the exact timing on it. It's probably roughly a second.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of the time in these earlier games, especially, it's more like almost a second. They're like counting frames or something.
Yeah, well, sometimes they count frames, and so if the frames per second drop, then the timer goes slower too. It depends on how how the information is being processed.
And then we see Ico processing this hookshot trick in force, which I believe in these settings is in logic.
Yeah, it is to avoid things like gold skill, like path for Forest Temple.
Oh.
Because it could be logical to dive in the well to get to the other side. It's real dumb, but that is why that trick is in logic.
People don't like the gold path scale, but it's
It
such
could
a
be gold
meme.
skill or iron boots to cross to the other side.
Yeah, it's funny. They're rare gold scale use.
Yeah.
But it's gonna get usurped by
It might
irons
not be
every
gold
time.
skill. I know irons was one of them. I think gold skill also works for it, but could be wrong on
Yeah.
that front.
Oftentimes gold scale does work for a lot of tricks. Irons comes into play when it comes to like those. I just need to get down there deep just for a little bit. Golds do work. Okay, so we get the gold scale on that. Come on, Xavi with the quick kill on dead hand. Let's do it. Nice. So far, Ico just fighting a lot of keys. So if there's any items in here, they're gonna be further in the temple.
I guess if you have Dungeon ER, I guess I could still be path in some weird scenario. Oh, there's Hammer.
There's our
There's
hammer.
our Volvagia path.
Yeah, so that's the Volvagia path resolved.
The Volvagia path is Bolero to get stuff and then get Hammer.
Yeah. Step 1, get Bolero. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, hammer. That was not Hover Boots lock, so the Hover Boot path is still up for grabs here. Stop hammer time. We can't stop. This is a race.
That was Hover's locked because the hookshot is Hover's locked currently.
Oh, good point. Yeah, because logical crossing. I was just like, well, he didn't go into Rest of Shadow. Wait, oh yeah. Had a cross for that hook shot. Unless you didn't need a cross for that hook shot. There's another one somewhere. Ooh, spooky.
And technically, my guess of first hookshot being in Shadow could still be a thing. They could just both be first hookshots. First hookshot for both runners, two different.
The first hook shot we've seen was on Xavi's side. It was a child spirit. It was
on Icola's side, but yeah, it was the. I think it's your first
Icola.
logical key. I think is that chest.
Mm-hmm. So you gotta go to child. A lot of back and forth this seed between child and adult. Like, required back and forth.
That could be your other hookshot. I guess it could also be light arrows.
Could be. And what is it?
Just a bottle.
Probably not that. Very strongly not that. Hammer to Strength could also be the Twin Rova path. I guess we haven't found third strength yet.
Hammer can't be hinted path to Twin Rova.
Oh, because
the
Light Medallion
prioritization.
Yeah. Because Hammer's path to Spirit Medallion.
Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be Mirror Shield here. I guess you could find another strength, and then that would make. Well, no, that couldn't be another strength because they wouldn't be path anymore at that point.
Yeah.
It has to be Mirror Shield in here. I guess it could be another strength in here. Like your strength 2/3 to get your third strength with hammer to be gonna be requiring hammer still. Never mind. Oh no, it still could be. Yeah, it could be like mirror on OGC Fairy, I guess. Because they wouldn't be hinting hammer. You'd be hinting the second strength.
I'm just sitting here looking at the spider web on my wall in terms of like the logic here, and I'm like, yeah. Did Xavi look at the other chest in there? I just didn't see
it was hinted.
Oh, right.
The Invisible Blades room was a key and nothing.
Mm-hmm. Ico's just finding all the keys in Forest. Alright, so we're about to see Falling Spike Room for Xavi here on the left in Shadow, and Ico's taking out the Stalfos. Second Stalfos. Man, Forest Temple really is bone gang, huh?
Yeah. If you already were confused about who was in the lead, this is just making it even worse at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's like, yeah, going to Child Spirit, when do you route that in for Xavi? But also, that's not that hard to go to, given, we have Requiem, we can get over there, just go in. It's actually pretty fast to do Child Spirit. And after this, what else do you really do? Backtrack to GTG? You know what I mean? I think it's just going to push Xavi in that direction anyways.
Yeah, well, this is the last room they can do inside Shadow here without a hook shot.
Yep, and they're going to need it. So, yeah. Man, all the keys come up early in both these
so they're
dungeons.
not going to lose any time on this.
Mm-hmm. Equipped Hammer. Looks like they might just go do Fire, knock out Fire to get Spear Medallion.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do it at some point.
No. It also gives you time to think.
I might wait on that just because it looks like Fire. It does give you time to think. I probably would have waited in case you find... Oh, no, you have Goron Tunic, never mind. It's never getting easier or harder. So...
Yeah.
This is going to be the Fairy Fountain.
Oh, yeah, good point. Being thorough here. Big key could be on Pierre. That is a problem. So I don't think either runner set up Scarecrow Song yet, because we haven't seen them go to Child Lake.
Yeah. With that being the case, I think you'd never go to Fire without long shot, in case that is the case.
Yeah. Yeah, Icola is filling up their key ring over there on a Forest Temple side. Laro.
Or the Fairy. I guess they didn't do the Fairy Fountain yet either on this side, so...
Oh, good point.
Are they pushing 20 skulls?
They might be if they're sitting time of day with Suns. Yeah, I was staring at that like, what?
I feel like that's like such a slow thing to be going for at this point.
Yeah, because DMT's Baron, so that's why they're skipping. Oh no, it's not. Sorry.
Oh no, the DMT's not Baron because the
DMT's not there.
could be Baron.
So maybe they did that. Did they do that earlier?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I'm just a bit shocked at this point because I feel like if you're playing to skip skulls, like, oh, the Storm's Grotto here too. Okay, skulls are on the way.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Have we seen this grotto? I don't think so.
Don't believe so.
Might get a different hit. Nope, just that Path of Evil Bane for Jabu Jabu again.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Without early storms, I'm not surprised we're seeing a lot of the Pathins now being behind storms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Xavi's up to 14. We know nothing's on 20.
Yeah. I imagine we'll see them go to back to GTG, which means we might get to see the strength block room.
I think they're going Child to Spirit.
They don't have Requiem, they can't go with Spirit.
All right, they haven't crossed yet. Checks notes. Treasure chest minigame? Yeah, chat's like rush treasure chest minigame. Lake, Child Lake, maybe to set up Scarecrow.
I'm surprised because they have lens. I'm surprised they're pushing these
PCG.
checks.
Yeah, Icola just blitz through forest. Oh yeah, get your guesses in for treasure chest minigame. And what's the order? Left, right, right, left. What we got? Good point too. Could also plan beans.
I'm gonna say left, left, right, right, right.
All right. It's the only way I can remember. Icola is about to fight Fam Ganon. Hasn't found anything cool in Forest yet, I believe. But this boss fight's probably gonna be cool. Oh, I'm still in it. It's right.
I'm already out.
Lefties are out of here. Sorry. Oh, still in it. feel like Xavi's playing too safe. I don't know. I think Xavi's going off the wall too much, but maybe, yeah, sticking on logic too much. Icola going for the quick kill. Can he get it? On Fam again on the right there. Oh, I'm out of the chest.
Yeah, he
Nope,
missed
it.
the first hit.
Good attempt, though. That's a hard quick kill. Then Phantom Gam trolling with those balls.
Yeah, I don't ever go for that quick kill. I just not that I'm not good enough to do it. It's that I haven't practiced it, and it's like one of those things where I just don't know if I want to put the time in for it.
Oh, sure. When you have other things to practice, the quick kill and Phantom Ganon's low on the list due to the high difficulty, and
Oh yeah.
It doesn't save a ton of time. It does save time.
I don't feel like that's like a big problem though for Xavi. Like that's not like a terrible play, because you need to cross. Like you at this point, you know Requiem's there. You have to cross at some point. So like
Absolutely.
you can't like put it off forever.
No.
It's not like you're
I also
eventually gonna
forgot
find
that-
Requiem and it's gonna save you from crossing.
Yeah, I also forgot that Xavi didn't do Richard. So that's at least 2 checks for night. Mark it. And then going for the Skulltula in Guardhouse.
Yeah, this is like. I wonder if they're just worried that it's on 20 skulls now.
Yeah. Not gonna get rewarded for
Typically,
it,
like so,
unfortunately.
I don't hate their play to like all like be like very passive on skulls, but I think it's when you abandon your playstyle too early. Now you're in like the worst of both worlds instead of like having like a good or bad side. Now it's just kind of like poor on both.
No, yeah, I agree.
Like I think the push 10 was correct just because you're running out of checks, but now you actually have a lot in logic.
Whoa, he's even going for Lon Lon Ranch skulls. Xavi's hungry. Xavi's like, what am I doing?
There's,
Like,
there's
this is-
other skulls that are more efficient, and I think with your hints, like this is not gonna be a hook shot here most likely,
Mhm.
because 20 would have been in logic way earlier. So I don't know what you'd expect to find here that you on 20 you think it could be, but
So something
obviously-
life changing. Maybe Xavi's like, maybe that hook shot's on 20 because I got Ring on 10.
yeah. But I think with your Bolero path, I think you could probably rule that out. I'm not sure if they have that in mind, but I think it's just it's pretty much ruled out that it could never be a hook shot.
Hmm. I think we see Icola here going for the trade quest now that they finished Forest.
The squays are the worst in this section here.
I'll take them any day over the Gways near the Lakeside Lab. Those Gways love to troll.
The only time those ones are in particular are bad is when they hide behind like the pillar and like, do I climb or do I like wait for it to like show itself? Because if you climb, you know it's gonna like wrap around and smack you off the ladder.
Exactly. That's my problem. Every time I stop to shoot them, I'm like, ah, man, they're out of my sight. And so I was like, do I wait? Do I start climbing? So Zabi's back walking to Child Lake, it looks like. Going to do Child Lake Hylia stuff. Plant Bean. Likely set Scarecrow song, because they're probably thinking that, like, well, Boss Key and Fire might be on PR, and that would suck. But they don't have a hookshot yet anyways, so it's not like they can action that. But good to have for later.
You're already getting so fire is foolish, and you're already getting long shot anyway. So like, because of pixel shot, you don't really need scarecrows. This is mostly for the checks here.
Uh-huh. And both these runners can do pixel shot. It's more for my small brain.
Yeah, they're being thorough, but I think they're just pushing off like things like they have to do anyway.
Yeah.
So they could get a good item here and be rewarded. I just don't know what the item could be at this point. I guess like mirrors, but no, we have a path for spirit, so I don't know what we could even find here that's like useful.
The other hookshot.
But I think it's the blow path. You couldn't find it here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well we still haven't figured out the Morphopath in GTG, because again, it's probably not that strength to your point. So
Like maybe
Uh,
this is strength 2 and strength 3 is in GTG, which gives you like mirror behind, or like gives you like, yeah, like mirror in I just don't know. I think this is just I think these checks are all dead just based on the patterns you have. I
hmm.
could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. It's just my assumption with how the seed's looking.
Yeah. Well, it's looking rough, that's for sure. What was that, $50 in the water?
Believe so. Look purple.
Yeah. Yeah, so Zavi setting Scarecrow song.
Ah, up, down, up. What a heathen. Not
Hey,
not
you don't
left,
want to
right.
input it too. You don't want to input it too fast. And I think down up is this naturally slower movement than left right for some
Maybe.
reason.
Still gonna call me heathen.
Oh wow.
It's all in good faith. Zavi knows I'm joking.
Hmm. Well, hopefully the fishing pond isn't joking and we get something good out of it while Icola does Bolero strat for delivery here. Come on, fish, no trolling. There we go. If Longshot happens to be in spirit on adult side, that's just cruel.
Yeah. I like. I just don't think anything else early in the seed, just based off of everything.
Hmm. So child fishing not paying off, just getting a Deku Nut out of it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna turn in 20 here and be very disappointed probably.
Hmm. Icola has Dins going straight into Shadow.
Yep, we get a full clear. Probably see our mirror shield in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, can't feel clear with that hookshot, huh? It should answer that Rova path regardless. Yeah, to chat's point for business here. If GTG is logical strength too, and long shots in spirit, then hammer would be path to Reva. Would be path, Morphopath, which would be funny.
As mentioned, we're 2 hours in. We have 2 meds done. We are going to get a lot of dungeon chains very shortly. Like, we can already clear fire with the hammer that Icola is about to get, and the one that Xavi has. We can full clear shadow. Water is a hookshot away, and spirit's a mirror away, and likely mirror is here in shadow. So like, we're gonna get a pretty good massive chain. I think the only item we don't really have locked down is long shot, which could be here in shadow. It's
Still also
probably
missing
gonna
the
be
light
hookshot
arrow.
locked.
We just know it's behind hovers somewhere.
Yeah, and we still have that patent in GTG, which could be long shot there.
Yeah.
Could be behind the hammer. Hammer to get your strength 2 to get long shot in the strength room. Yeah, which like looks like Zavi's gonna go back to GTG now, which unfortunately the child like cleanup might have cost too much time.
Potentially. We'll see how it plays out. Because Icola does have a lot of stuff to action with that hook shot, to your point. Like, can knock out Shadow here. Uh, needs to go get Hammer.
Yeah, it's just
Which is there.
the
Yay.
issue I see with a seed now, if you're rooting for Zavi, is that we have 2 items we're missing. We're missing we're missing mirror, and we're missing long shot, and we have 2 path locations unresolved.
Yep.
Because you know it can't be hammer because of the path priority. So you know that that's not, that you still have a path here in shadow, and then you have your path in GTG still because you only found that one bottle, which now you know at this point is not the path item.
Yeah.
Oh, and
So
lights.
that's
Okay, we are also missing lights. That's right. So lights is behind at the very least the hover boots. So it's not gonna
either
be here in lake. It's gonna be. I guess it
further
could
in
be on shoot the
Shadow.
sun.
Yeah.
Well, hover's locks like your hook shots. It could be anywhere really.
Does hover? Can you do shoot the sun with hovers?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I think that's too far.
Well, but hover's locks your at least one hook shot. So it like shoot the sun is hover's locked.
Right. But as we come up at 2 hours, Welcome to Zelda Speedruns, everybody. This is Season 8, the semifinals between Xavi and Icola here. Having a really great race. Very different philosophies and perspectives when it comes to how the seed should be approached. Very tricky seed. Commentating with me today is Nath. Thank you for being here, Nath. I'm out of this world Burrito, aka Burrito. Tracking for us today is Dominic and Tummeltalk. And double thanks to Tummeltalk for restreaming. And I will do the commands.
Yeah, it's been a very good race so far. Xavi not out of it. I think their window is going to start closing very quickly, but it's definitely not out of it yet.
No, absolutely not. And like I've said earlier in this race, I've seen multiple races where it looked like Xavi was clearly behind and then all of a sudden came up to win. And, adult fishing might be the coming up to win here. We still haven't seen it, and chat's been having a lot of holdout for hope here on fishing.
Yeah, it's so early in logic because you have bombs early that I just don't think this could have anything, personally. I'm still on that train where I think everything is behind hover boots there.
Yeah, you think we have enough actionable information or unanswered path hints where we kind of have an idea where stuff is. Yeah.
It's because that Bolero path, I think, is the main one giving info. So because we have that hovers being path and Bolero is locking at least those hovers there, I almost you'd almost be certain then Xavi's choose that hovers locks both your hook shots, or at least one of them. And at that point, basically anything early game is just nothing. Because you're missing Mirror Shield and you're missing 2 hook shots on Xavi's side and a strength.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of our early game checks were all in that first child visit we saw from Xavi and Icola. Like, that was all the early stuff you're going to get.
Yeah, I guess Xavi has a lot of items missing, so they're trying to be thorough. I just think it's not going to work out in this case.
Yeah, because based on their tracker, which you can't see on the restream, but we here can, they do have 4 path hints. So to your point, they have at least 2 that are unresolved, and that's some good actionable information to follow. And they've been pretty strict on staying on the logic here, so I'm surprised that they're not playing those hints a little bit more aggressively, but maybe they just feel like they're missing something that should have been more available. Maybe it's just that hook shot still looming in their mind. Yeah, it's possible that Xavi, to chat's point, didn't quite piece together that Requiem had to be vanilla, and so that's why they didn't cross sooner. But at the same time, they didn't go out of their way to pick up Serenade, so...
I wasn't really watching the full chain and everything, so I'm not sure if they knew at the time. I feel like they had the info to know, but I'm just not sure.
I believe this is just best of 1 to answer chat's question.
Yeah, I believe everything's the best of 1 because it's double elim.
Yeah. So to that point, the winner of this race will go on to winners finals. Well, they're going to play against either Hyper or Marco. That race has yet to be decided. And then the loser of this race will go down to the lower bracket, and they'll be starting in lower bracket quarterfinals. Now, the lower bracket player could make it up to the grand finals. They'd have to win 3 more matches to do so, while Xavi would only need to win finals to make it to grand finals. So we still have a lot of races left to do, especially in that lower bracket, so there's still a lot more to this season. And again, as I mentioned earlier, ZeldaSpeedRuns has been restreaming other Ocarina of Time randomizer races like the Master Quest one going on right now. There's also Challenge Cup still going on, the several gauntlets. They actually had a stream going on at the same time as this one. And that is top 33 through 96. Brackets here are top 32 players this season, which was determined by a 20-round qualifier where each racer had to put up, it was a minimum of 5 races, and if you did 8, then you drop your highest and lowest or something.
So you have to do at least 5, up to 8, and then your 2nd through 5th best times are what counts.
There you go. And there's light arrows. they're in shadow.
Yeah, and the cutoff to make top 32 this year was pretty strict. Not like a absurd point total you needed, but it was definitely on the higher side.
It was very competitive this season.
Yeah. I made a few mistakes on a couple quals, and just not quite enough to make it this year for me.
No.
And then I scrubbed out in CC in the first round.
Damn. It's all right next time. Are there any other leagues you're participating in? Because we have a lot of leagues in the Ocarina of Time randomizer community.
Triforce Blitz is starting soon. So is Multiworld, and then small spoiler for people who play leagues. I'm on the org team for that. No official date yet, but look out for info on that sometime soon.
Sick. Looking forward to more info on that. So yeah, there's lots of other leagues that are beginning to be coming up. Oh, there's Mirror Shield. So yeah, Mirror Shield and Lights just slightly further in Shadow. Actually, Hookshot locked since they were just right beyond that first spike room.
I don't think Xavi has silvers.
Xavi does not.
That might be a
silvers,
model thing.
Yeah, it's because of the Fierce Deity model. He has like big mittens on, kind of looks like, but Xavi is about to get silvers in this room.
Yeah, only long shots missing, and we have an unresolved path here in GTG. It's probably going to be in the silver block room. I guess it also could be in Spirit.
Could be in Toilet, right? Because we got another hook shot from Spirit. No one's checked Toilet yet. Couldn't.
Yeah. So you mentioned like winner and loser going on. So like you mentioned, winner goes on to play the winner of Hyper and Marco. And then the loser of this is going to play the winner between Rock Chalk and between Aeronaut and Volk, whoever wins between that group. So it's still a bit of waiting for whoever loses this match.
Yeah.
You got to wait for Aeronaut and Volk to play, and then the winner of that plays Rock Chalk, and then the loser would play between those two.
Yep. Echo having a nice little ferry ride as Xavi finally does the boulder room here in GTG. Or runs through the boulder room. I guess it was faster to save and quit to get back to here than it was to turn around and walk, huh? I guess he couldn't because he doesn't have hookshot to get up the...
if you're there, it cannot be... if it's an always hint, like... Say, like Din's Fire was hinted on Vigoron. If you got a DMT path, it would not be for that Din's. It would be for a different item there. So like 30, 40, 50 skulls, because they're always hints on the Skulltula guys themselves. They can never be like... If you get a CAC path, it's never for the 30, 40, 50.
I think... If there's another item here, it's got to be in Toilet. I mean, yeah, the path could be Strength 2 to that point. I mean, Xavi's hoping it's that because Xavi is not doing Toilet, it looks like.
But they don't have a hookshot, they can't do it.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting, man. Hasn't crossed yet. Didn't set win, though, so I feel like he's not planning on coming back.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's fine because like you're on last location mode, and at this point, like you're not coming back here because if you do, you lose anyway.
And
yeah, wind is in shadow, and that's the bigger one.
Oh yeah, that is a lot more time to get through.
If you move FW in shadow, then you're losing a lot of time. I think it's better to gamble on Toilet being dead.
Yeah. So let's assume Toilet's dead. Our first pass hint with Gerudo Trading Grounds to Morpha, and we found a bottle and strength in there. So it's probably the strength.
Yeah, it's probably strength 2 for since the Toilet room is dead, it's probably strength 2 for in Spirit, so it's probably gonna be somewhere, probably both hookshots in Spirit. Which could be a bit dangerous if Xavi finds a hookshot that's not hookshot locked in Spirit. Child Spirit could be put off for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And not a lot of Spirit is actually hookshot locked. Hookshot makes things easier to get back up, but you can save quite a lot, and hookshot is not really required for anything outside of like Compass Chest and Twin Rova.
Yeah, it logically long shot could be required, but that's only if small keys on the child hand of DC, right? And you have to hook over to it.
Yeah, if that's a small key there for that it locks upper spirit, or in the odd case that that's an item that's either mirror or an item that locks mirror, then that's long shot locked because a key could be behind mirror.
Oh, good point.
I've had that happen a couple of times where I think I had like hammer there, and then like long shot was oh no, yeah, long shot gave you hammer there, and then hammer gave you mirror, and then your fifth key was somewhere. So it was long shot locked in a weird way.
Yeah.
That was a Triforce split seed. I had to actually look at the log to see like how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
The best
This
part
is
is when you get so like 3 keys plus long shot gives you that hand there, and then the invisible like chest in the path up to the iron knuckle is 4 key locked. So there are seeds where I've had where long shot was on the path to get that 4th key there, to get a Triforce piece in the room you just walked past.
damn.
But anyway, here is Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
Might be in some double spirit here.
Yeah. Getting Requiem right when Icola gets Serenade from Burning Cack, likely picking up for that movie to get back to water faster later once they do have long shot. As we've already seen some traverses of Lake Hylia that runners like to avoid. That can be out of the way,
Yeah.
especially when Valley's barren. Not much incentive to go down there. You don't get that nice circle as Hyper has taught me of doing the circle. Valley out to Lake Hylia up into South Hyrule Field. But honestly, that makes more of a U than a circle since you don't go back to close it. But I'm not going to confront him on that one.
Oh, mention
Long
long shot
shot.
on Frogs 2. Have we seen a Frogs 2 hint?
I
can't recall one.
Yes. Right?
I only had Frogs 1.
Oh,
I can't
shoot.
recall a Frogs 2 hint.
It can't be.
I'm
Doesn't fit
sure
the
we
path.
had it.
Yeah, nothing is on the path to Frogs too, anyways. From what's left. Whack. Could fit if the Frogs 2 has Strength 3 and long shots in outside Ganon's castle.
Yeah, my little hit and cheat sheet here doesn't have the always hints. I'm not sure if we had a Frogs 1.
Yeah, we just had Frogs 1, no Frogs 2, so I'm just like, that would be pretty nuts if that's the case.
Yeah, it's probably
But
just
honestly,
hookshot here in spirit, and that's gonna be the go mode for Icola.
yeah, given the check density here on adult side, it's a high odds. It's the second hook shots is an adult side of spirit. Where was Hook? The first hook we saw from Icola was on child spirit side, which Xavi has not gone to yet. Xavi just crossed for the first time after 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I thought Xavi had a really good like read from how things were going with the seed, and then kind of I think just diverted a little too much trying to clean up overworld.
Do
I
you
think they
think
were
they
afraid
tunneled?
that hookshot was just somewhere.
Do you think they tunneled too hard on logic? Do you think they should have kept going
I
from
think
GTG to cross?
I think originally it was fine. I think there was a certain point where they needed to. I think they just missed one thing. I think they missed the Bolero logic. So we'll have to
Neighbors.
hear from them on that once we're all
Finally.
done.
We were talking about Nair's love earlier. We finally find it.
Is this the other hook shot here? There it is.
Yep,
And that's
there it
go
is.
mode for Icola.
It's in the hand. Wow. So double hooks in spirit.
Yeah.
That's messed up. So yeah, the GTG path was for strength 2 to go into adult spirit to get your long shot.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is a path if there ever was one. Wow, a lot of big chests here in Spirit at the very end.
Yeah, Icola skip this one because now they're in go mode. I'm curious what this is. Probably it could be strength.
They're
Strength
grabbing
3.
it just in case. Oh, bigger
Well,
wallet.
Xavi's not in go mode, so yeah, they're gonna open it.
Oh, right. I was taking those. Yeah. So right now, for sure, Icola is strong in the lead. I don't see a way of Xavi making up time, given how much they still have to do, and given what they're missing.
Yeah, at this point it would take like a massive blunder from Icola, like forgetting something that like I don't know what could happen. It'd be like them dying over and over or something.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like they're just I think it was close at a point where they like where Xavi could have crossed, and then they just instead went to go clear a lot of like overworld. My best assumption to what happened was they missed the Bolero logic, and then were thinking that hookshot was just somewhere early.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a good question for them once we're all said and done here.
Yeah. And to chat's point, it'd be tough for Ico to mess anything up, given they have double defense and a pretty good number of hearts, honestly.
Yeah, I mean even without double defense in those hearts, it'd be shocking to see Icola die randomly like that anyway.
I have seen a lot of people void in shadow when it got late in the scene. They're getting nervous, which costs a bit of time. So, but yeah, Ico is pretty strong, high skilled.
Oh yeah.
Icola stops for Burger King, and then maybe Xavi catches up. Taco Bell moment. So we're going to be seeing Xavi finish up Shadow, which we've seen on Icola's side already. So we know Xavi's going to find Light Arrows back here and Mirror Shield. And then just keep following that to probably go do Forest after that, maybe.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe go back to Child to go do Child Spirit side. I don't see them doing Fire before that.
Yeah, Hover's Path Evil's Bane just because both hook shots were locked behind Hover Boots.
Mm-hmm.
And lights are behind hookshot and shadow.
Yep.
I mean that check is what's behind like hovers in general. So
yeah, when Hovers ends up on the path, there's a pretty good odds that it's something in shadow, because that's a lot of checks behind Hover Boots.
oh yeah.
And there's Boss Key. You got to climb almost like all the way up to find Boss Key in Spirit.
Yeah, I guess the final bits that we don't know is where are the boss keys in Fire and Water Temple. It's about the only thing we don't know yet.
Yeah, so we still might. This Icola might be done in maybe like 25 minutes, or it could be much longer depending where those keys are.
Yeah, I closed the race stream room so I don't get spoiled. Since for those that aren't aware, these runners are on a 20-minute delay, so where they are now, I think they are 20 minutes ahead.
In real life.
Yeah, so one of them could be. Yeah, if both boss keys are early, I think Icola could be done at this point. I just don't know for sure.
Yeah, I also keep the race room closed because no spoilerinos.
Yeah, if Icola is not done, then Fire, boss key, or Water, or both are in bad spots.
Mm-hmm. Like you got to climb all the way up for boss key, which I've seen a few times during brackets alone, where it's like, oh good, it's hammer
fire,
chest.
so that means boss key is no lower than the compass chest.
Good. What would be the worst chest in Water? Dark Link Loop or Central Pillar?
Honestly, for me, it probably like the way I route it, it'd probably be the dragon chest because that'll be the last one I do.
Yeah. In terms of routing,
when I'm looking for boss key, I like to do I do map, crack wall, clams, central bow, compass chest, central pillar. Well, no, not central pillar. I do water BK and then central pillar.
Yeah.
And then the dark link loop. So if it's anywhere there, I'm slow at it.
Yeah, that seems to be the standard route that I see when people are just in go mode for water.
Yeah,
A lot of
some
nice
people will
peaks
do
too.
compass first. I like doing map first personally, but that is a debate that I don't think will ever be settled in the random community. Map or compass first.
Uh, Neither. Hover boots, super slide, break the rules. I don't know, man. Who needs boss key? Just click. But to the point earlier that chat was making, which you were highlighting earlier, chat saying here, Xavi lost as soon as the age changed instead of crossing, and I think that was the point you were making earlier when we talked about where maybe Xavi lost it, and yeah, a lot of overworld cleanup, switching back to child, doing all that work instead of just crossing. Especially since at that point it was already in logic for them to cross.
Yeah, we'll have to ask them. My best guess, like I mentioned, is that they assumed hookshot was early, and I think missed like the piecing between the Bolero path,
Yeah.
because the Bolero path kind of gave you info on where the hookshots were, well, and hovers.
Yeah, that path was definitely the sloppiest of all the pass hints we got, though. A lot of steps in that one where you're like, okay, let me write this down, and then you're just going through it step by step. A lot of options. But Icola having a pretty good
Actually,
twin
looking at
rover.
Xavi's tracker, they have Nocturne for hammer, so that's probably wait. Where was Nocturne was
Nocturne with Saria's.
So I think that's where they didn't think about the Bolero possibility. I think they had the like I guess technically Nocturne with her hammer is still path 2.
Oh yeah,
So
since
that's
Hammer
probably
was in
why.
Shadow. Yeah, it could just be reading logic different to your point. Which again, for anyone watching the restream right now, we can see the runner's full stream setup. We crop it here on the restream for better viewing experience, but we can see on Xavi's tracker the path hints and what they think what was there.
Yeah,
I
right
also
now they
like,
have listed as Nocturne being path for
yeah, that would
to
explain
get
some
hammer,
things.
which it is that is true. Nocturne is path to get hammer, so it's not like a false
Yeah,
thing.
no,
And that Bolero and Nocturne are both path, and the rando could have picked either one.
oh yeah, good point.
So I guess with that in note, the cleanup isn't the worst because it could have picked Nocturne and then Hookshot could just be anywhere.
Sure.
I just like pushing the way that Icola did because you have to cross at some point anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of doing checks that you know are 100% required versus might be required.
Yeah. No, Tomo Talk, we never saw the fifth path hand. I'm guessing that's like Back Lake Hylia or either Hyrule Castle Courtyard 2 or 3, or even Web Grotto. Have not seen a bracket race where anyone's stretched for Cow Web Grotto yet. Haven't had any that bad. Oh, it's could have been Valley. No one checked the Valley Stone because Valley Baron, so.
My favorite with that grotto, with the cow, is when you're in Skull Sanity and Hammer's there, so you actually have to do it as child.
Oh, yeah. That can be a nasty grotto.
Yeah, for those who don't know, that grotto is blocked by nothing except for like bombs to open the grotto as child. But as adult, there's a hammer rock there. Why? Who knows? That's just what the
So,
rando devs did, or not rando devs, but the game devs did.
so after Shadow, Xavi went back to finish Adult Spirit, which Xavi can do since we know none of the keys are on child side. There's not enough required keys on child side. We know that Icola is already ahead at this point, and so it might not come into play, but this would be problematic if we were still kind of in a where is it situation, because that would even de-emphasize going back to Child Spirit even more for Xavi.
Yeah, I will say though, at the once they did like the rest of Spirit here, they do fire. They probably would clear water out and then probably go back here because like what else is left in the seed at that point? They've kind of done everything.
Sure. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that even if like the seed was still going and Icola wasn't already in go mode, they would just be hunting forever to find this long shot in Child Spirit.
Yeah, I think
And
the costume was a full clear water temple, which it could be costly. Water is
yeah,
not fast.
no.
It's not slow. I think it's over like hated on for being like slow. I think it's actually a fast dungeon. It's just that it's people just don't like water temple, which I don't blame them.
I think it's just ruined a lot of casual experiences for some players, so they just go,
Yeah.
nah, I just
Water
don't
is a
like to
lot
begin with.
cooler in glitch settings, and you have options to do more things out of logic.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And also for anyone watching who might be wondering what we mean when we say go mode. Go mode is when the racer has all of the items they need to complete the seed. Not necessarily that they have the medallions to get the Ganon's key, but they have all the items to get all the medallions to get Ganon's key and open the bridge and yada yada yada.
Yeah, basically, if the runner never opened another chest besides keys, they could finish the game.
Yep. So, Icola's already found 5 keys, I think, total.
I told you, fire's foolish, so therefore it's on the top. It's at least compass chest.
Yeah. That's funny. Key loaded already. A lot of the dungeons has ended up key loaded. Like all the shadow keys are early, all the forest keys are early. It looks like a lot of the fire keys are early, but fire has a ton of keys, so it's not in the shortcut. Yeah, so Zavi's climbing to find boss key and go beat Twin Rova right now. And Icola is looking for that boss key in fire. We have not seen fire yet. While we don't expect to find anything important in here, it would be nice to know where the key is. Just cause.
There's the boss key for Xavi on Spirits. We're going to see a Twin Rova on that side very shortly.
Mm-hmm. Icola had a pretty good Twin Rova with that luck on phase 1, so hopefully Xavi gets some merciful treatment as well.
Oh, there's the boss key. It wasn't that mean.
Alright, had to go about halfway up. That's pretty good. All things considered.
I was kind of hoping to see a pixel shot here, but no pixel shot today.
That's a good point from chat. Where would you think the last path hint would point to? Chat saying bow. Should we have found it?
Honestly, a second SFM path wouldn't be that surprising at this point.
Yeah, good point. Since that one we found could have been a double hinted.
Could have like SFM to Morpha as well.
Hmm. Cow house. Can't be cow house. No cow sanity in this settings. Poor cows. Left out of the fun. Well, makes sense though. As an item to find on the last path hint. I feel like Kokiri's sword shows up a lot on path hints. No statistical analysis there, just vibes.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's especially for Goma. It's just that it's very unlikely that Slingshot's ever going to be like a way the hero item because there's 3 copies of it. It doesn't really look much.
Yeah.
So usually it's K Sword. And when it is Slingshot, then it just feels like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know SGL doesn't. They actually have like the B1 skip trick and logic, so that actually can't happen. I kind of wish that more settings would do it. I get why they don't do it. Just a personal like wish anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to have the forest trick and logic, I think the B1 skip one is about the same level.
Yeah, that's true. Deku was a stone, but Deku also had what seemed to be our logical first bow. So that was also kind of my thought. So still bow, but with a step in between. So given that Boomerang was on 10 skulls, for people wondering, that technically would have been hinted at anywhere, right?
It could have been a CAC path.
Oh, okay, Cack Path, yeah.
Yeah, 30, 40, 50 can't be hinted, but 10, 20, and 20, 10 and 20 could be pathed.
Mm-hmm. Is the restream okay? Everyone okay? We're okay over here in the booth. Also, good Twin Rover kill here for Xavi. Had pretty good setup and luck on that first phase. So definitely not losing time on this kill. Okay, I see what Tomotalk's saying.
Given how locked everything is, I'm pretty sure the last path would have been either another water path or another fire path.
Mm-hmm. Icola having
Because
some
strength
good...
2 is required for water. So you can't have anything else for spirit hinted. What else?
I was about to laugh because I saw Icola. I'm like, Icola has some good setup here with for Wind to get back here fast, but then starts immediately backwalking up the slope. I'm like, you don't have key yet, dude. So I'll be playing Minuet, so yeah, I'm gonna go slam out Forest. As expected. So yeah, boss key and fire wasn't too bad. We'll see where it ends up in water. Never mind, I evoked it. Literally the first check. Let's go. Oh, quick Morpha kill too for Icola. On a roll here, and gonna go see Icola just run into Ganon's tower down. Take out the big piggy. So yeah, I guess
So that's
moral.
gonna be the 6th med there for Icola. So we'll see a Ganon climb and a finish very shortly.
Mm-hmm. So moral of the story of the seed is don't get fooled on double Sacred Forest Meadow, Bolero / Nocturne, which honestly had a 50-50 on that path, unfortunately.
So I think in the end, like think about the Nocturne part a bit more. I don't think Xavi's reasoning isn't the worst in this case. I think mostly it's you have to cross eventually anyway, so you might as well do checks that are required in the first part.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the end of the world.
No.
Oh. So while we're waiting, since there's not much else going on as far as like info missing, I went to go look for other hint stones ones that we haven't seen yet in the actual seed. So Valley has our other our Shadow to Twin Rova, and back of Lake has Shadow Temple to Morpha.
What? I'm like, Shadow Temple to Morpha. So hold on,
It's the hammer. The hammer for strength 2 to get long shot.
What the hell? That would have been a really annoying path hint considering the mirror shield, but I guess you'd resolve it when you go clean up Spirit afterwards, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know where the duplicates were, but those are the 2 I saw in Valley and Lake there out of curiosity.
Okay, well, hints were I'd say the hints were pretty challenging this seed to follow overall.
Yeah, this is definitely a good puzzle of a seed.
Oh yeah, because some of these seeds, it feels like the path is just giving it to you, not really multi-stepped. But yeah, that Sacred Forest Meadow. Wow, that's an easy one to get tripped up on. Took a long time to resolve the Morpho one because we're like, is it strength? Is it strength? Is it strength? Yep, it is. Yeah, that was definitely not an easy seed to play. So the fact that Icola is still going to be finishing here in under 3 hours is very impressive.
We didn't get it on restream. I loaded the seat up and I walked to the Valiant Lake to see what was there while we were waiting for
now
the finish here.
gaming on the side. uh,
I was curious. I'm sure some of you were curious too. I figured why not.
yeah, a lot of these seeds, especially these bracket matches, end in 1 or 2 paths being missed, and so it's always a question of like, wonder what those were. So it's good to know because especially on this one, like we were talking about, the path was pretty difficult here on some of those, and so that third one would have either made it easier, made it harder, or just not really helped. In that case, I think it would help a little bit, but it kind of overlaps with our other paths.
Yeah. The 5th path hint, Dominic, was the what was it? Yeah, Shadow to Morpha. Where honestly, it could have actually put Xavi on the right path because I would have been Hammer, which was the well, no, because Strength 2 was was behind hook shots. So they wouldn't have gone for it that way anyway. So
Yeah.
I think it was basically I think once they started claiming like cleaning up child is when I think it was doomed at that point.
Yep.
I think Icola was still a bit ahead regardless, but it went from like being still in it to basically too much to insurmountable.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Xavi is still half a Forest Temple, it's about like 8 minutes. Half a Fire, it's about 5 minutes. Water is probably another 5 minutes, and they have to do Child Spirit, so like it's a lot of time at this point. We really think it's just that cleanup was just a bit too much. I think not crossing to Wasteland is probably what helped cause it. Yeah, I'm not sure if they just weren't aware if it was Requiem at the time, they didn't want to risk it, or what the reasoning on it was, but...
Yeah. Which, we've been informed that Xavi will be over on the German restream doing an interview. So, if anyone, Sprechen the Deutsch, you can go over there and check that out. Icola will not be joining us, and that is alright. As a reminder, Icola will be going on to Winners Finals, playing against either Marco or Hyper. I don't know if that race has been scheduled, or if it was at a time where I'm like, I'm sleeping. Let me look. It doesn't look to have been scheduled yet, but that one should be coming up. And
yeah, taking a look at brackets.
And then Xavi will be going down to lower bracket quarterfinals. And we could see Xavi again in grand finals, but again, they got to win 3 matches. So, and some of those players down there in lower brackets have been playing to win. Some really strong plays going on as people have been tearing through down there. The 5th path is memes, chat says. I think that's the 6th path. That's the hidden 6th path is just memes. Stone of Agony. Like to point, Volk has been on a winning streak ever since they were sent down in round 1. So Volk's been tearing it up. Defeating Alexis in the last match is now going against Aeronaut, who Aeronaut lost to Hyper.
Yeah, that match is on the 15th at 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern. That will be a match because both those runners are very good. Like, the fact that both are in the losers bracket just shows how like intense this bracket's being here at the end.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see who else.
Yeah, you have Mario and Rock Chalk waiting on people for other races. Mario plays the winner between Cola and Fabio in the lower bracket. You have Hyper and Marco to play at some point. I'm not sure if that's been scheduled or not. I don't believe it has. I think Hyper just played recently, so I think that's part of it.
Yeah, Hyper and Aeronaut just resolved like the other day at like 1 a.m. my time, so they'll probably be scheduling with Marco in the next few days.
But yeah, I don't think we have an interview from either runner, so I think with Icola finishing here, it looks like Xavi FFing, that is all we have today.
Yeah, the only thing I want to add before we hand off to Tom Talk to finish is if you ever want to volunteer for restreaming, either as a commentator, a tracker, sign up to do both, or even if you want to restream yourself, make sure to check out the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord. There is a volunteer process there, and we always need new people, especially when we're talking about seeing an Australian race at 2 a.m. Pacific. Might
And
save
I
somebody
guess
from Stanford.
one thing to add too, if you're thinking about getting into Ocarina of Time Randomizer because you think that your looks interesting, League will be starting up soon. Way League works is that we divide everyone into divisions. So even if you are a newer runner, we will not be putting you against people like Xavi or Icola. You'll be playing against runners that are also new or very new still. So if you want to get into it at a low commitment, but like a decent playing against players of your similar skill level, keep an eye out in the Discord, and we'll have info on that in probably a month or two.
Thanks for that plug. That's really good to know. But I think with that, we'll hand it over to Tom will talk.
Okie dokie. Hi, everyone. Well, GG to the runners. It was a great race to watch, even if it kind of got one-sided at the end. Still fun to watch. They still did a great job. Thank you to you both for commenting, Nath and Burrito. Appreciate that. Thank you to Dominic for helping me track. Thank you to everyone else who came out to watch. I'm going to send this over to the honors and get us out of here. Have a good day, everyone.